Podcast League now. Starring the Casablanca Kid. He turns good taste into bad. Movie hero. He has a stutter, but he's smooth like butter. And Pez, with the ability to Pez.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Podcast League Now. This is our podcast for the three of us here on the Movie Hero Network. Now, yep.
Now.
And today it's going to be a fun episode. We've been kind of looking forward to for a little bit. That we're going to be talking all about our different Comic-Con experiences. We're going to be talking about meeting celebrities, just like showing off some autographs, like things of that nature. So
celebrities.
Yeah, celebrities. Right? Yeah. So yeah, but it should be a fun time. And like I know I've got a huge stack of stuff. I've been.
I think it's safe to say I don't think any of us has met like big giant A-list actors. Like I don't have any pictures with Tom Cruise. I don't have any pictures with like, George Clooney. But they're A-list in my mind. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, right.
They're A-list in my mind. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got about two or three that you consider A-list. I feel like, but beyond that,
I got a lot of B-listers.
Yeah.
That'll be fun, and C-listers.
Actually,
but it's all people.
I want to start this off real quick by giving a shout out to our friend Mike Schaefer, who said he's going to be watching our show. So, Mike, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Sometime we'll have you on one of our movie fights or something like that. Since I know you love movies and TV shows, and awesome stuff like that. And yeah, guys, we need a call-in thing. Like if you ever watch like the Friendship Onion, they have a phone number you can call and you can leave like voicemails and stuff. We need to look into something like that in the show.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to find out whatever they're using and maybe see if we can use it to our advantage or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That'd be fun. I'd be down for that for sure because I know there's a lot of interest. We're like a few people from the community. Like, you guys ever have guests on the show? Because I've been to a lot of Comic-Cons. I can show off some cool stuff. I'm like, well, typically we don't really have guests, but I mean,
well, that's what my friend Mike said. He's like, is it can I call in or something and like be on the show? I'm like, I don't think so.
Call in number one. You're on the air.
Yeah.
WPLN Podcast League Now.
Yeah, right. But every once in a blue moon, like we may have one of the three of us can't. I'll make it on a podcast episode and maybe like a fill-in, that could happen from once in a blue moon. Like we had Malcolm do it the other day. But don't expect it too often though.
Right.
Like,
we're going to try to
you kind of keep it between the three of us here, but yeah, but anyways, yeah, we'll just kind of jump right into it because I mean, basically we kind of have just one topic to expect this to pretty much take up most of the show. We'll kind of see it. We might end up playing a little game at the end if we have some time. We'll kind of see, but yeah. So I just figured that we're gonna start with the youngest of the panel. You're not the youngest by much, but Austin, we'll let you go first. You're about a year younger than us, probably.
Wow.
So I'm 36. I was born in 1984.
Yeah, I'm 35, and after 15 years of doing hard retail labor, I don't feel young, but I guess I'm technically the youngest.
I will wreck you.
Yeah, right.
But actually, though, one thing before we get in all your stuff, I don't know if you guys have any stuff from like when you went to Comic-Con. If you can notice, this is my very first shirt when I went to Salt Lake FanX. So I wore that. I have another shirt that I'll show up when it's my turn. I got my Comic-Con badge, my VIP when I did the whole VIP experience. Oh, you can see the VIP there. There you go. So yeah, and I got my.
That means you were a very important person, Jordan.
Very important. Yes, and I'll talk more about it when it's my turn. I just wanted to just kind of just show what I'm wearing. But anyways,
I don't. But I am wearing my Queen's Right shirt.
I've got badges
on the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got badges somewhere, but like I don't think I really kept any
I
of them.
don't need
But,
no
but yeah,
stinking badges.
Yeah,
badges, right?
Yeah, we're no stinking. Yeah.
Badges. I just walk in right into Comic Cons and walk right up to the front of the line. Who's gonna stop me?
Yeah, just
Bunch of nerds gonna stop me? What are you gonna do?
yeah. You walk in
Yeah,
like you
I
own the
am.
place, right? Yeah. But like basically how I thought we could kind of do it is like it's like the pictures aren't maybe in like an exact order, but I just thought that I would just
We
throw up
can explain.
Hey,
your picture.
we'll explain it. We'll explain
Maybe
it.
just go like picture by a picture. You can explain it, and then if you have a story behind any pictures, you can talk about that, and then maybe like afterwards you can and like if you have any extra stories that even like involve just like your time at Comic-Con and things like that, you can tell those too, and then but also I just thought that I'd just kind of kick it off. So like when we're talking about like comic book convention, it's like how many conventions have you been to, Austin? Like which ones have you gone to?
Again, most of the ones I went to were around Florida when I was still living there. A lot of them in Orlando with a company called Spooky Empire. So they used to run a lot of these annual horror conventions. They used to do one in our October, and then eventually started doing one in May called Mayhem. So they would have two a year. And I usually went to both of them for about, I would say, 6 or 7 years straight. I went to both of them. So from about 2007 to maybe 2015, I went to pretty much every single one of them. So probably 15 in total. And then I've been to other assorted ones. I've been to a Power Ranger convention called Ranger Stop in Orlando. I went to one called FX a couple of years. I went to a few MegaCons in Orlando. And then when I'm up here, I went to I think it was 2 years ago. It was before COVID, I know, 2019, I believe. I went to a Fanboy Expo in Knoxville because that was just 2 hours north of me, and met a couple people up there. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I would say in total, maybe 20-ish, probably total. I've been to quite a few.
Man, I thought I've been to a lot, and I've only been to 5, but they're like pretty big conventions. But even still,
I've even been to one in Jacksonville called.
I
might have 1 or 2 pictures of it in the stack. We'll see when they come up. One called the Cult Drive-In Convention that had a bunch of like Grindhouse people and old B movies. That's where I met like Jim Kelly from Enter the Dragon and Fred the Hammer Williamson, who's in a bunch of blaxploitation movies and From Dusk Till Dawn, things like that. Pam Grier, who's a legendary blaxploitation actress, and she's in Jackie Brown. Sid Haig, a bunch of people from Critters. They get a Critters Union, things like that. So yeah, I've even been to small ones like that. So yeah, we'll just roll through them, and if you want to pull them up, we'll pull them up.
Yeah, so I just made a little album here because unfortunately, just uploading my pictures alone, I already got to the limit that the StreamYard actually allows. So now I just do them in my Google Photos. We can bring them up this way, and I will be able to pull them up full screen here in just a second. So let me do that really quick. So, do you want to get the like pictures with celebrities first, or do you want to go over the little autograph?
You can just go in order, whatever pulls up first. Just go in order, and I'll explain each one of them. That's fine.
All right.
So just literally, you can go one by one, left to right. So
all right. So this is the first.
This
one,
first
so,
one,
yeah. So some of those.
So I've got these art portfolios that I've been putting on my, I get these 8x10s that a lot of the celebrities, have at their table. Obviously, they have a 8x10 you can purchase, and then they'll, sign you a personalized autograph, that sort of thing. So what I did eventually is I had no real way to display them. So I got these 2 window frames from my sister's wedding a few years ago, and she used for a couple of different things, and then she really didn't have a use for them. So she gave me both of them, and it just so happens a lot of these 8x10s fit perfectly into the little, window holes in there. So I've got 2 of these, and so I picked out some of my favorite mainstream ones that a lot of people recognize, and I got 9 that went sideways and 9 that went up and down. So this is I have these currently hung on my wall in my living room. So this is one of them.
Okay.
So I put a lot of the mainstream ones on there. You see, you've got like Michael Rooker's in there, Lyndall Hamilton, who's Sarah Connor, got Danny Trejo on there. Like I said, Pam Grier, Jim Kelly. People like that, and a few recognizable horror people. Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead up there in the corner, and Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw, things like that. And then the guy who played the bartender in The Shining, Lloyd the bartender, is the one at the top right there. He was in his 80s. Yeah, but yeah, so I have one of those, and I think I have a picture of the other one on the next picture.
Yeah,
Let's
here.
go with
Well,
that one.
go to the next one. There you
And
go.
then those are my up and downs. So again,
What?
the one in the the one in the very middle is me getting shot by the Boondock Saints in person. All
hell
three of them.
yes.
So like they
That's
were doing
awesome.
one of those professional photo ops, and so everybody else was just kind of standing there, arms around, and I was like, no, I want you guys. They had these prop guns. I was like, you guys look like you're executing me because that's what we're gonna do. And so that's what we did. And they had them printed out the next day at the con, and I went back through the line again and had everybody sign it. So. But yeah, I got stuff like that. I got John Aston, the original Gomez Adams, on the right there. I've got Carrie Elways from Princess Bride and Twister and Robin Hood Men in Tights around there. I got Billy Zane as the Phantom, who was a big get for me because the Phantom was one of my favorite movies. Finally met him 2 years ago up in Knoxville.
That's so cool.
Yeah, like I said, Jigsaw, Chris, I know you're a soft fan. That's the one at the bottom right there. It's one of the posters. And I got the cast of A Christmas Story down there in the corner.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh.
So you'll see. I think there's a picture later that Jordan will show where I've got a picture with a bunch of them, and I'll show that later. So, like I said, most of these if I got an 8x10, I usually got a picture with the person as well. So yeah.
Sorry. So you also have the photo signed by obviously the voice then of the Crypt Keeper.
Oh yeah, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, John Cassier. Yeah, I met him and got him to sign an 8x10. And he was doing one of those things, of course, like a lot of voice actors, where if you throw him an extra $20, he'll drop you like a voicemail as the thing or something. So he was like, so part of the things he was selling was like, oh, if you want me to do a voicemail for you, as the Crypt Keeper, like I'll do it for like another $20 or whatever, things like that. So yeah, I mean, those guys are cool. Those guys are great.
Sick. What about the Friday the 13th? What is that one?
That is Betsy Palmer, the older actress who played Mrs. Voorhees in the first Friday the 13th. Jason's mom, and she passed away a few years later, and I got to meet her, and I got a picture with her somewhere. Yeah, wearing like an old sweater, but she's an old TV actress, back in the day. So yeah, Betsy Palmer.
Well, what was Gomez Adams like? That must have.
He's awesome. I think the picture with him is in the stack I sent Jordan, I believe. So we'll probably get that at some point. But he was super cool. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm asking some questions. Who is that from Twister again? Sorry.
Carrie Elways, he was also in The Princess Bride and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah,
he's the bad guy in Twister. I'm just a big fan of Twister.
I don't know why I didn't put two and two together that he was the bad guy in that. Because I love Twister so much. He plays such a good evil bastard.
Let me enlighten you people. This baby has satellite comlink. He's got that southern accent in that movie.
He plays such a good evil bastard in that.
Oh, I told him, I have a quick picture or story about that. I told him when I met him, because I got him to sign the Twister picture, I said, I hope you take this as a compliment, but you're very punchable in that movie. And that means you did a great job. And he kind of laughed his head, so that's great. So, he was very cool. Mm-hmm.
You have to tell a little story when it gets to my turn. Actually, so like Carrie Elways was at a convention I went to. I didn't get to meet him because I was just pressed for time. It was a pretty huge convention, but I did go to his panel though, and I saw him reenact some scenes from like Princess Bride and like Men in Tights, some of those movies like that. So that was fun.
Yeah, he's great. So I had him right on the thing to Austin. Look out! Before he gets the rebar through his face.
Oh yeah, right.
By a Twister.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
classic scene, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
but yeah, you can keep on scrolling, Jordan, and I'll take them one by one, and we'll see what we got here.
Yeah. So the pictures are in no particular order.
No particular order. I'll talk about it as we go. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here's one of them.
So that's me and my buddy Dagan, who I went to convention, and that's of course Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, who's awesome,
awesome,
and just is as cool as could be. She gave me a kiss on the cheek, which was awesome. She's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, but Sarah Connor's badass. She was great.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Got to meet her. That's Jason Mewes, obviously from Jay and Silent Bob. And probably around 2009 or so. So yeah, he was doing okay then, but I think he had to go to rehab again. That was before he got his teeth fixed, I think, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he looks a little different now.
Too.
Oh yeah, a little baby Pez, from about I don't know, 12, 13 years ago, something like that.
Dude, that's so cool. You met Jason Mewes, though.
Yeah, he's cool.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was nice. And there's the great Malcolm McDowell from Clockwork Orange and Star Trek Generations and a host of other movies. Legendary Malcolm McDowell. He was very, very cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
That's John Landis, who directed Animal House and American Werewolf in
that's what that is.
London
Okay.
and the Blues
Awesome.
Brothers.
John
Fun
Landis.
fact, he directed the Thriller video as well for Michael Jackson because
That's cool.
Oh man.
because Michael Jackson saw an American Werewolf in London, and he wanted, and he had Thriller coming out, and he said literally he wanted to find somebody who could direct almost like a little horror movie. Because if you remember the Thriller video, the full version, like the 10-minute version, it's like a little horror film where he transforms into a monster and
Right.
to scare his girlfriend and all that. And so
One of the
he
best
literally
music videos.
said, "I want the guy who directed American Werewolf," and so he got him, and they made a little horror movie, and then directed the video. So I got a
cool.
picture. I got an 8x10 of him with John Belushi because I love Animal House, one of my favorite comedies.
Nice. Yeah, that's one thing about Michael Jackson. Like, he has some of the greatest all-time music videos. Like, they're really good. Like, pretty much any of his music videos. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people were bringing up like my friend had the Thriller vinyl and got him to sign that too, like the single vinyl, and so he was signing all kinds of Michael Jackson stuff too. Yeah, because the Thriller video is awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's Jake Busey, son of Gary Busey, who you might make an appearance here in a little while as well. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Starship Troopers, so I got to meet several people from Starship Troopers. Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't put two together.
Yeah.
For some reason,
but Starship Troopers is great.
Yes.
Yeah, for some reason I always associate him from that like short-lived TV show Shasta McNasty. I always remember him from that TV show from like UPN days or whatever with Vern Troyer, the Mini-Me. Yeah.
Well, he was also in Identity, that horror movie, and he's been.
Identity's an amazing movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, he's the serial killer that's like chained up in the bathroom in that movie. Yeah, because of course he's a crazy person. But yeah, Jake Busey, just because he's a Busey.
I'll tell you my thoughts. So Identity almost made my most overrated movie list. I'll just tell you that. I think it's an overrated movie.
It's literally an incredible movie.
I was like, I don't get this movie, but it didn't make the list because there's far more overrated movies than that. So I'll just say that. but anyways, yeah, here you go.
That's Fairuza Balk from The Craft and The Waterboy and
Waterboy. That's what I remember.
The Waterboy. Yeah, she's Waterboy's girlfriend in The Waterboy. Yeah, so she's
Vicky Valancourt.
Vicky Valancourt. Awesome. That's Vicky Valancourt. And she's super, super nice as well and very humble. A lot of the stuff on her table was either from The Craft because she was at a horror convention and she was in that movie and of course more mainstream being The Waterboy. But she's done a bunch of other stuff. But she was very, very, very sweet, very, very nice.
Yeah, I always quote the line from The Waterboy. She's like, I hope you like what I did to y'all's lawnmower. Next thing you see him cooking down the road going super fast.
Right.
Yeah. But
there's the great Danny Trejo, who of course has been in hundreds and hundreds of movies, and he's a very somewhat small guy because I'm only 5'6" and we're about the same height. But
oh really?
Yeah.
Wow. He looks so much taller. But then again, obviously that's movies and stuff like that.
A lot of the time, it's the way they shoot him. Yeah, it's the way they shoot him. They kind of shoot him to look a little more bigger and intimidating. But yeah, he's only about 5'6" in real life. He was
like seems shorter than me. Yeah,
basically. But yeah, I have his 8x10 up there. I got one from Con Air. I'm a big Con Air fan, the Nicolas Cage movie, and he's Johnny 23.
I love Con Air.
But I mean, he also had stuff from obviously it was around the time actually that Machete came out, so he had a lot of stuff for going around from Machete.
So I got to ask: is this part of a costume, or is this just like the like fashion?
I have like an Ernest costume I wear occasionally. So
Ernest, okay, I
can be Ernest.
It's just like
that fashion style. That's
a nice jean jacket.
You know how hard it is to find a plain tan hat. It's really hard to find, which is what he wears in those movies.
So the other day I was watching. Speaking of like fashion style. I was watching the original Batman movie, and that movie's weird. Like, it's 80s, but it's like 50s because, like, you have other people with like the style, like hats and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah,
kinda
right.
weird.
Yeah, the old timey microphones and things. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
It's kind of
Anyways.
interesting because they kind of make Gotham like a city, kind of like looking its own time. Like it's kind of like a city outside of our own world, sort of. So it's like it's interesting to see it.
And that's kind of what I got
Tim
to.
Like how Tim Burton built that whole town. Yeah, but yeah, let's see what else. Ooh, there you go.
There's the great
man in
Gary,
the
the great
middle.
Gary Busey, like the man with the teeth. And Gary Busey was like, I got his 8x10 from Predator 2 because I'm a big Predator 2 fan.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was charging like $40 for a picture, but I just thought to myself, I was like, you know what? Am I ever going to get a chance to take a picture with Gary Busey ever again? Probably not. So I'm going to do it. So I just bit the bullet and did it, and it became one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken.
That's awesome, man.
I love Gary Busey, and he was funny. Like we took the picture, and then he like just right after the flash on the camera, he took his finger and like jabbed it into my side and just went. He's just like a crazy person.
You gotta have
awesome.
He's a silly person.
Gary Busey craziness, like something happened. He's like there's a time where like he was actually normal, and then something snapped and he became crazy.
Well, he had his motorcycle accident, and it kind of messed his face up, and he got a brain injury. So like he's literally been like a crazy person since then. Yeah, that was like back in like 1992 or 93. Yeah, and he's been kind of off his rocker since then. But he's but it became one of my favorite pictures. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like in Predator 2, you can kind of see like this is normal Gary Busey, but then like cut to later on, and you're just
around the mid 90s, and after that, it's like crazy Gary Busey. But I figured, when am I ever going to get a chance to take a picture with Gary Busey again?
It's awesome,
right? Yeah. That was awesome. Let's see. There you go.
And that is Joey Fatone from NSYNC. Who, oddly enough, I met at a horror convention, but he wasn't as a guest at the thing. What happened was they were doing a little Q&A panel thing. Robert Englund, who plays Freddy Krueger, was debuting a trailer for like this new movie, this new kind of independent movie he was in, and Joey Fatone was in the movie as well. And they were doing they were debuting the trailer and doing like a little Q&A thing. Joey Fatone lives in Orlando, so he just came to the panel that night just to like hang out and like answer questions. And then after the panel was over, like everybody was leaving, and Fatone was just kind of hanging around, and like a few people hung around just to see if they could get a picture with him. And he was like, "Oh yeah, come on over. I'll get a picture with everybody." Like he's the coolest, chillest dude. Really nice. Like he was super, super awesome. Like he shook everybody's hand. Like it was only a couple people that like hung around, but he was very generous to like take a picture with everybody. I know wrestlers in Orlando who have done karaoke with him. He just like goes around to bars, just hangs out because he's got NSYNC money. He can just like hang around and just do nothing if he wants to.
So it's funny, like I was kind of like at that like stage where I listened to Eminem. So like I never really liked NSYNC. I never really liked Backstreet Boys. But now as I've kind of gotten older, I appreciate their music. They're definitely talented.
I've never had a problem with them. Like some of their stuff is catchy. And I remember sending that picture. I texted it to my sister and said, I just met somebody from NSYNC, and she was like, I hate you. She was like, this is the greatest. So but he was like the coolest dude, and he lives in Orlando, so he just came to hang out.
That's so cool. He was so nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's very nice.
I kind of know him from Impractical Jokers too, because he does some things with them from time to time. He's like, we'll like host every time that like they do like a countdown of their like top 10 greatest punishments or like top 20 greatest pranks or like whatever. He always comes on to like host that. And every once in a while he's been in a couple of them with Impractical Jokers. So
well, and he's also in. If you recall, he's in one of my movies that made my 64. He's in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. He's one of the family members. Yeah.
Oh wow. Nice. Okay. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah. But he does a little acting on the side, like here and there. And that's Jim Kelly, who was in the Bruce Lee movie Enter the Dragon. He's the guy with the afro, and he was also in a lot of blaxploitation movies like Hot Potato and Black Belt Jones and things like that. And I was kind of on a kick, and that was the one where it was like a cult convention in Jacksonville, and I actually got to meet him. And then about 2 years after I took this picture, unfortunately, he passed away. So I was so glad I got to take this picture before he died. But he was one of the coolest, like nicest, chillest dudes. Like he was so happy to to have like people who knew who he was and then appreciated him and everything. I got and the 8x10 I got of him was actually from Black Belt Jones, but I have it posted next to a 8x10 of John Saxon, who was in Enter the Dragon. So I've got several people from Enter the Dragon, so I'm very happy about that. It's one of my favorite movies.
And
I was gonna meet Bob Wall, who's also in that movie, at a later convention, but he had to cancel, so I never got a chance to get a 8x10 of him as well.
Oh, dang, because like those are always special pictures, like when they pass away.
Yeah,
because you're just really like feel fortunate to be able to meet them. Like I got to meet Carrie Fisher at a comic convention, so now that she's passed away, like, I was like, man, like I'm like really glad that I met her.
And I don't understand the sentiment. I've heard people say like, oh, when somebody passes away and you post a picture you took with them, like that's selfish. I'm like, no, I'm celebrating the fact that they were a great person. And I was fortunate to take this picture with this person who I'm a huge fan of. And when I posted the picture of Jim Kelly, I said, no, he was a very humble, amazing person. And I was glad I got to have this like 5 minutes or whatever it was just to meet, a hero of mine, So like, it's more of an appreciation of how good a person they were. Like I'm celebrating that and the fact that I got to have this moment with them. That's all. So I think it's more of a celebration. It's not a thing.
Agree.
Like I'm not trying to exploit them.
I've never seen that as something. Yeah, no.
That's silly. Yeah. No, I was saying he's a great actor and I love him and I'll cherish this moment I got to have with him before he passed away. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Ooh,
and that's same convention. That's Fred the Hammer Williamson, who's in From Dusk Till Dawn. He's in Three the Hard Way. He's been in a whole bunch of like old school exploitation movies. He was in a movie recently called VFW that got a lot of kind of a horror movie that got a little following. But yeah, he's like a cool dude. I walked up to him and he's like, "You look like a From Dusk Till Dawn kind of guy." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're probably right." And so we just got a picture of him from that movie, cool. And he signed it. But he was like a super super cool dude. Yeah, and it was funny at the Q&A. He was like, somebody just jokingly was like, "Would you be in my movie?" And he goes, "You got the money? I'll be in your movie." He's like, "You shoot me about 10 grand, I'll be in your movie." So he didn't care at that point. He's like, he was like 80 years old. He didn't care, but he looks great.
Yeah, as we're going through this, so your friend Mike, Chris, he's in the chat, just kind of talking about some of the people he met. Carrie Elwes too, John Rhys Davis. I know he does a lot of conventions. He came to even Boise for a little Comic-Con. He met Stan Lee, which is cool. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, Will Portacio. Yeah. So he's a Marvel artist, and then of course Ian McDermott. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. And then Denise Crosby, Star Trek. I've met her. And Marina Sirtis. Yep. They're both awesome. Yeah. We got a little kind of quick.
That's cool.
I won't tell it now, but I have a little kind of quick when it gets to my turn, like a 20-second story about Marina Sirtis, something that I just overheard her say at a comic book convention that kind of surprised me and made me laugh. So, but we'll get to it. Yeah. But anyways,
Mike, thanks for comment, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. And then.
And there's the rest in peace, the legendary Sid Haig, who was Captain Spaulding and House of a Thousand Corpses and the Devil's Rejects and all that.
Wow.
Who just passed away, I believe, last year, something like that. But super.
Is the guy from the cover that you see, or is that?
He's Captain Spaulding. He was the clown guy from those movies, the one who had all the clown makeup on, things like that. But he's But he had. It's cool because House of a Thousand and Devil's Rejects. Rob Zombie gave him like a resurgence in his career because he was just kind of a B-movie actor who didn't get a whole lot of work. And he ended up doing those movies and had one of those late career resurgences, kind of like Tobin Bell with the Saw movies. Had like a resurgence and was able to do a lot of little bit parts in horror movies, and people he became in demand again. So he said he owes a lot to Rob for helping him kind of revive his career and do a bunch of these movies and make some money, to pass on to his family before he dies. So he was probably great for that. He's a super quiet but very cool dude.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, and then he also put Sig Haig. It was also the bad guy in the Saturday morning TV show Jason the Star Command. I don't really know the show, but if you know it, everyone knows it.
Yeah, sure.
That's awesome.
But we'll keep moving on.
And that's Dee Wallace. It was now the convention. Okay. The convention was doing a Critters reunion. She's in the first Critters, but she's also more recognizable, probably the mom from E.T. E.T. Yeah.
Yes.
And she was in Cujo, and she's been in The Frighteners and a whole bunch of movies. But yeah, Dee Wallace is a very sweet, very mom-like lady. She was very, very nice.
Nice,
And
nice.
yeah, she's very, very cool.
Nice. Let's see.
There's Stephen Yeun, who's Glenn on The Walking Dead. And
My
this
favorite
is a lot of
character from the
these.
show.
Yeah, a lot of these characters or actors from The Walking Dead, I got a chance to meet a whole bunch of them like right at the end of season 1. So this was when they just started doing conventions, and a lot of them, with a lot of these guys, I walked almost right up to their table because nowadays, like he goes to a convention or any of these people, and obviously they have a line a mile long of people who want to line out the door. But like it was just when they were starting to do them, so I was fortunate they came to the Orlando and did the convention right as the show was kind of getting going, and I got a chance to get a whole bunch of pictures with them and autographs with them, like $20. I'm sure now they go for $100 a pop, most likely. And so I mean I caught them kind of right at the beginning, but yeah, they were all very, very humble and very nice. But I believe I have a few other ones in there, I think, that I sent you.
And to this day, though, I just can't believe how they killed off Glenn in The Walking Dead. That's got to be one of the most gruesome, like, deaths in, like, any TV show. Just, like, when you see his eyeballs popping out and his face.
Oh, it was awesome, though.
It was like mutilated meat or something. Oh,
it's a lot of the big point and where a lot of people turned off the show and quit watching is when they killed him. So
yeah, right. That was my
it's a turning point of the show
because that show is freaking incredible. Yeah,
the show kind of dropped off for a little bit because I'm a diehard Walking Dead fan, but it dropped off for a little bit. But I encourage people to go back to it because they really stepped it up. Like for the past 2 or 3 seasons have been actually really great. So I would encourage that. Yeah,
I like going back and looking at these pictures because I like to see how in shape I was back then. I need to get back to that.
Right.
I was in much better shape back then. I didn't look fat in all my pictures. And there's there's John Bernthal who was on The Walking Dead for a little bit, and then of course is the Punisher. So he's
exploded now. Like
he's completely exploded. And this is before he was really famous that much.
Such a great actor.
And I literally walked up to his table and like was able to get a picture with him. He was super, super cool, and I'm glad he's blown up because he deserves it. He's been working hard for a long time, and I'm glad he got a chance to be the Punisher because that was crazy.
Oh, he was so good as a Punisher, definitely amazing. And in Fury,
Fury, Fury's great. Wolf of Wall Street, he's great in everything.
Yes,
yeah.
And in Ford versus Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's done that one.
He's good in everything. He's great.
Yeah.
I wonder if with Mike Schaefer, if he's ever been to Salt Lake Comic Con. I'm seeing all the people that he's posting, they're like all the same people I've met. Like convention. I've been to the Salt Lake Comic Con 4 times, and then one other convention which I'll talk about. But yeah.
And there's Bill S. Preston Esquire. As you can see, I was very excited to meet him. I had a custom made little pressed Bill and Ted shirt on there, and he's like a genuinely like super nice dude. Very appreciative for the people who like him.
How do you not like? Okay, so how do you not fanboy? Or did you fanboy hard? No,
I mean I don't fanboy just because like I just don't want to go crazy. But usually I will just very calmly say, hey man, I'm a big fan. I appreciate everything you do. And a lot of times they appreciate that more than people just yakking their ear off.
I know that.
And screaming their head off. And usually I'll take a picture and I'll just say, hey man, it's a real pleasure. Thank you so much for taking a picture with me. I'm really glad you come and do these things. They're really appreciative of that. All these guys really appreciate a lot of their fans. I've only had a few encounters that weren't great, and one of the ones I had at that convention that wasn't that great, unfortunately, was John Carpenter, who I'm a big fan of, who I think was just kind of annoyed that day, and he was like one of these chain smokers. He goes out to smoke a cigarette like every 15 minutes. Because I walked up to him and I just watched Big Trouble in Little China, and I was trying to tell him like while he was signing my thing, hey man, I just saw Big Trouble in Little China for the first time. I really, really liked it. And he was like, really? You just now saw it? Like it was kind of a snarky comment, and I was like, well, yeah, but I was trying to tell you like I got around to it and I really liked it. And it was just really awkward and really weird. Like he just didn't seem to be in a good mood.
People just watch it in their own
that's what
time
it is.
table, you know.
It's like, bro, I was in my 20s at the time. It's like I didn't grow up with the movie.
Yeah.
Like the movie came out the year I was born. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, right.
I got around to it. It took me a while to get around to it. So
I had two in particular, like people that I met that weren't great experiences, which I'll have to talk about online too. When we get to
mostly, but unfortunately for me, most of the Comic-Con experience I've been to, 95% of them have been great. So but yeah, there's.
But one more thing I wanted to say about Alec Winters, I didn't mean to bump that real quick, for a second, but. Like it always throws me off hearing Alec Winter just like talking his normal voice. I'm so used to him saying like whoa, dude, this is heinous.
Yeah.
Totally like whatever. But like he just has like a normal voice, but like I don't really get to hear it. But
he's a super smart dude. He makes documentaries now, and he's made some very cool He's a documentary filmmaker now. He's made ones about the dark web, and and he made one about Napster. Like he's made documentaries.
What?
I
didn't know that. Okay, check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. He's a good filmmaker.
Didn't really sound like that character. Okay.
And there's baby Carl from first season of Walking Dead, Chandler Riggs.
It looks so small because I got to meet him too, but like he was a little older than that when I met him.
Yeah, just a little, right? Yeah, no, this is literally like first season. You know, like when he was still a kid, and I got to him before he had his growth spurt. Yeah, definitely.
That's
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome to catch him at like such a young age. Yeah. There you go.
And there's rest in peace, Vern Troyer, Mini-Me. He's literally, and I don't mean this in a mean way, he's literally the smallest person I've ever met, like ever. Yeah. Like he was like walking from his table to somewhere, and he's literally like 2 feet tall. Like it's incredible. But he's a super nice dude, you know. Like he sits on like a booster seat in the seat to kind of make sure he's high enough for everything. Again, I'm not disparaging him. He's like the greatest guy. Like he was super nice. Awesome. And yeah, like just really cool. So yeah, rest in peace, Vern Troyer, man. Miss you.
Oh, such a great actor.
When he came to Salt Lake Comic Con, so I never got to meet him because like my day was just packed with so many things, but I saw him from a distance, and then afterwards at the Salt Lake Comic Con convention, it posted this like montage, and literally he like showed up early for the convention. He went like all around Salt Lake City. He was like saying how awesome the like town was. He showed up early for like all the pre stuff for the convention. They had like a pre party and then even like an after party. He stayed for all of it. Like he was in town for like a week, even though the convention he was only scheduled for like 2 days. So yeah,
that's so cool.
I've watched a lot of 90s movies, and if you go back and watch, he did a lot of stunt work back in the 90s. Like, if you watch Baby's Day Out, he's like the stunt baby in Baby's Day Out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If you, I was watching Wishmaster, which is like a 90s movie, and he's like a little demon baby, like running around in this makeup, like for a little bit in the opening sequence. Like, you go back and watch these 90s movies, and I'll catch his name in the credits a lot if they needed like a stunt kid or stunt baby. Like, he used to do a lot of that stuff before he became an actual like on-screen actor with like Austin Powers. Cool. Like so you'll catch his name in a lot of credits a lot of times.
Yeah, some of these things I'm seeing from Mike Schaefer. Here you go. This one made me laugh. William Shatner's golf cart almost ran down my Salt Lake Fanex. That was awesome.
Should have got hit. Maybe you got a little payout.
Right, exactly. You've been set, Mike.
Get some of that Star Trek.
I saw William Shatner's autograph booth, and literally it was the longest line of like anyone at the whole convention. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm not waiting 3 hours just to like.
I've been to a few conventions where William Shatner and Adam West and some of those guys were, but like their lines were so ridiculously long that I just couldn't do it. Like
I would have
my longest one,
my right arm off to meet Adam West back in the day. Oh.
Yeah, I had a chance to, but it was like 2 hours, and I didn't get a chance to. And literally the Carrie Elways one would have been the longest one, but with the first time, the day I got there, the Knoxville, I went to his thing first and just got in line before he even got there. So like I was like the second person in line, like when he finally got there, so I didn't have to wait very long. But I got in line like super early, and I was just like, you know what, he's gonna have the longest line. Let me just get it out of the way, because like some of the other guys didn't have very long lines, like here and there, you know, it's 5-6 people maybe, and I was like, yeah, let me just get it out of the way.
Yeah. Keep on rolling. Here you go.
And there he is. There's John Aston, Gomez Adams from the original Adams family.
Okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I believe he's passed away as well. But yeah, again,
Was he from the movie or from the TV show?
No, from the old TV show, the '60s TV show.
The TV show.
Yeah, because Raul Julia was the movie when he passed away as well after those movies were made. Right. But yeah, John Aston, I believe he might have been in his 80s or 90s when he came to this. I couldn't believe he was at that convention. That's cool. And so I was like, I have to get a picture with him. He was like a super nice guy. We get the picture. He's like, oh, what's your name? Because, you personalize it. There you go. I said, Austin. He goes, okay, I'm going to write from Aston to Austin. And right. This thing. And he's like, and then there's like a chair. He's like, come here around here. Come here, you little whippersnapper. We're going to take a picture.
That's awesome.
So he was everything like you thought he would be. Like he was like a super sweet, cool. Like old guy. And I was very, very happy to meet him. He was awesome.
Nice. Very cool. Ooh, Tom Green.
And there's Tom Green, who that was not at a convention. By the way, John Aston's still alive. That's amazing.
Yeah.
He's 91. Okay, never mind. I thought he passed away. My bad. Yeah, that's a Mandela effect. I could have sworn he passed away. Anyways, Tom Green came and did a stand-up show in Jacksonville, and then this was at a movie theater, a local place called Sunray Cinema. They did a theatrical they did a screening of Freddy Got Fingered, his movie from like 2001. And he was like promoting it.
The worst movies ever made.
Yeah, right. But here's the thing is he was like, he did the stand-up show. And then if you wanted to, he's like, and I already had a ticket for it because I just wanted to do it. He's like, oh, yeah, we're going over to Sunray Cinema, and they're going to show Freddy Got Fingered in the theater for the first time since his theatrical run. And like but he went to it, and they gave him a microphone, and he was doing kind of like a live commentary throughout the whole movie. So like people were saying, but everybody who saw it was like huge fans of the movie because it has a cult following. Awesome. Like even if you hate it, like it has a following.
I like
and like
people
were saying the lines and just having a blast, and he was like saying the lines along with the character. Like it was super, super fun. He hung out by the bar and just like took pictures. Like he was super, super cool. Like Tom Green was awesome.
Like in the Tom Green show, that was like a part of like pop culture when it came out.
It is. Like, yeah.
Like everyone knew the Tom Green show. Like it was one of the more popular shows that like on to ever be on MTV. So yeah.
If I remember right, I think I had my copy of Road Trip in my cargo pocket, and I think he signed it as well. Like I whipped it out real quick and had him sign it. So cool. I believe my Road Trip DVD is autographed also.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, there's Steve-O from Jackass who did he does stand-up shows, like he does stand-up comedy now, and I went to one of his stand-up shows, and he hangs around and takes pictures with everybody, but what he does is he has his own camera, so like people don't have to fuddle around with cameras, and he'll take a picture with everyone, and then what he'll do is he'll upload all the pictures or have his assistant person upload all the pictures the next day on his website, and then all you do is go snag the picture off the website. So so it goes by really quick. He takes quick selfies with everybody, and there you go. So yeah, but he was
that's cool.
He was very nice, and his show is awesome. He's a really great stand-up. Actually, if you ever get a chance to see him, he's actually really funny.
Nice, yeah. Well, I'm listening to his podcast. He has a podcast that he does in like the back of his like tour bus,
his van,
like that.
He's got a van. He's got one of those vans. He's converted into like a podcast studio van. Yeah, it's nuts.
Okay, I don't know. I'll have to check it out then for sure.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
And also too, like I would recommend, like he did kind of like a mini, kind of like Jackass, kind of like short movie that he has only posted on his own website because he wanted to do all this crazy stuff. Like he has a thing where he's like taped to a billboard and they're like shooting things at him. I don't know what it is, if it's like eggs or like something crazy that they're like shooting at him.
Well, there was all this stuff he wanted to do that like Jackass wouldn't let him do, so he can do it on the internet if you just like paid. If you like just pay, it's like basically a Steve-O Jackass movie, but like it's all the stuff that Paramount wouldn't let him do. And I think you can go on the website and just like rent it or whatever or download it.
I'm looking forward to a Jackass Forever.
I'm so looking forward to that. I love the Jackass movies. Like, I love them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Jackass fan. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun. Oh, there you go.
And that's just my buddy. That's my buddy Dagan. Yeah, and he was doing his Martian Manhunter, and I have a Lex Luthor outfit that I whip out every now and then with a kryptonite rock, and I have this like kryptonite glove thing. Like, so I just wanted to show that off. That was like just at a smaller convention in Jacksonville
That's
that
cool.
we went to. He won. I think he won second place. He did. For the costume contest, but I almost placed just because I went up and like the host guy, when they were doing everybody on the stage, was just like trying to get people to get, to say something in character, right? Like with the microphone, but everybody was just like, oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Just like walking away. I grabbed the microphone and cut a Lex Luthor promo because I'm a wrestling guy. So I cut a promo about how like vote for Lex Luthor, like 2016, like let's give Earth back to the humans, all this stuff because he was president in a lot of the comic books. And like I cut a huge promo, and like the judges afterwards were like, we almost gave you a prize just because like you actually did something in character, and like we just had a little fun with it because everybody else just was doing nothing. And I was like, I'll be in character, I don't care. Like, let's have fun.
So does the kryptonite rock, does that light up, or is it just that? Like,
yeah, it's got a light on the inside and a little switch, so it lights up, and it's around a chain.
Cool.
It's kind of like the one Gene Hackman had in the original Superman movie. That's what it's like based off of.
Okay, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's Lloyd from The Shining. I'm trying to remember his name. I might have to look it up real quick. But yeah, the bartender from The Shining. Yeah, money's no good here, Mr. Torrance.
Yeah,
that guy. Who, and I just had to because he's such like an old school guy. And again, he was like in his 80s there, and I was just like, oh, his name's Joe Turkel. Yeah, Joe Turkel. Okay. And he had like his own little. He had his own little bar set up like in it for his booth, like it was like a bar, and he would he'd take pictures like behind the thing. But like Joe was like the coolest guy. He wrote the little quote on the 8x10. He wrote, "Your money's no good here, Mr. Howell." Things like that. So, well, like he was a super sweet guy.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's the great Michael Rooker.
Oh.
Yeah, he's Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's in the new Suicide Squad movie and a host of 8,000 other projects. Yeah, but he's he wears his sunglasses indoors and he doesn't give a shit. So it's awesome.
Right. Like he's one of the funnest conventions I've ever. I mean, the funnest panels that I've ever I've been to. Because like the panel that I went to, he came down into the crowd and he's like walking through the crowd, and like when people had a question, he would bring the microphone right up to them, and people were like mobbing him, kind of like he was some like huge A-list celebrity. Like they'd be like, Michael, I got a question for you. And it's like literally like you see like the paparazzi kind of like mobbing someone, but like he was loving it though. Like he was just smiling. He was so happy. He was like cracking jokes, making comments on like people in the audience, and like almost doing kind of little jokes about him too, kind of roasting people. So yeah, it's fun.
I love going back with like 80s and 90s movies and just watching him, and he'll pop up in like a small role, and you're like, oh shit, there's Michael Rooker. Like he's because he was in everything,
Yeah,
so,
right. He's in everything.
He's
such a good actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, one of my favorite roles was in him in the movie Mallrats. He plays like the guy's dad or whatever.
Yeah,
he's that manager. With the chocolate pretzels.
I just watched Mallrats for like the first time a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Yeah.
The movie's awesome.
The 8x10 of him is from Walking Dead with the hook hand, like the machete hand. Is what I've got from him. Yeah,
that is an awesome penguin. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. So, we went to a convention. I still have this outfit. I rock it every now and then, all the props. But yeah, I was doing the Burgess Meredith 60s penguin, and then my buddy was like a dead ringer for Hugo Strange, like from the Arkham games and the animated series, things like that.
That is just spot on.
Hugo and Penguin.
Great job.
Oh yeah. No, I and all that stuff I put together that outfit for less than $30, I would say, because. It's like it's just a white dress shirt, which I already had. Black pants. I got a tuxedo jacket at a thrift store for $5, which I did. I got some little white, just whatever gloves for $2 online. I got a little clip-on purple tie for a couple of bucks, and the little old cigarette prop thing, and the monocles were all like $2-3 a piece, and then the hat was probably the most expensive thing, but even that was only like maybe $10. Purple hat on Amazon. Cool. So simple outfit. It kills every time. Oh, and I have an umbrella with it, but you just can't see it there. But yeah, like it's super simple. I've won several contests with it, so it's great.
I see that. It's one of my favorite things is like putting together the costumes for different convention, because a lot of people think you got to spend a lot of money on it, and you don't really have to if you get
It
creative.
depends on what it is. I have a Jurassic Park Dennis Nedry thing that only cost me maybe $50, but like that's the thing is like once I do it, like I still have all this stuff, so I keep it for a long time. Like everything still works. Like I just hang on to it, and then I've got one in my arsenal, so to speak.
Yeah, right. You can use it for like a future convention if like some of the actors from the movie are going to be there or something like that.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I wear it all the time. Yeah, we had a good time.
Halloween or like whatever. Yeah.
That is the Christmas Story cast. Chris, so that is those the two guys that are holding me were the bullies. That's Scott Vargas and the Toady. Toady on the left and Scott Vargas on the right. And then the other guy to the right of Vargas is Randy, the kid who played Randy, the little brother. And then the guy who played Flick, gets his tongue stuck to the pole, and I'm blanking on his name at the moment, but essentially a good chunk of the cast of this little convention I went to in Orlando.
Dude, that is so damn awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That is literally one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah, it's great. I love that movie.
Yeah, don't ask Shannon like what she thinks about A Christmas Story. For whatever reason, she hates that movie. I don't get it. Like
I got a chance to see it with a crowd 2 years ago at a little theater at here in Asheville. It does like little revival showings and stuff, and it was really fun to see it around Christmas time with like a whole theater of people who love that movie to death, and just like cheering and laughing and clapping and just having a great time. Like Chris, you would have loved it. Like it was just this crowd just having a blast. That would have been
incredible. Yeah,
it's just awesome. Having a blast. Like people seeing it with people who just like love the movie to death is just so fun.
Yep.
There's Biff from Back to the Future.
Scott F. Wilson or whatever.
Yeah, Scott. Thomas Wilson. He was actually. I met him in Jacksonville at a stand-up show because he does stand-up comedy as well.
What?
He's been a stand-up comedian for probably 15, 20 years. Yeah. So I was sitting up near there, and afterwards he was like selling, like books and DVDs and stuff, and. Like he was just he's super tall. Like he's a huge guy, by the way. Like I'm standing next to him. He's like 6'3" or 6'4". Like he's a really big dude. But like he's super like really cool. Like he hands out these cards like that. He also sings a song about all the questions he gets like for Back to the Future all into one song. If you've never heard it, go online and look up Thomas Wilson questions song. It's hilarious.
Oh, cool! I'll have to do
He's
that.
a really funny stand-up. He's great.
Did he call anyone a butthead? New song? Did he
no, I mean, he doesn't really do it. He just, I mean, because he knows that he gets asked a million times, and like that's part of the question song. He's like, "Will you call my friend a butthead?" No, no, I won't. No. Things like that. Like the question song is pretty damn funny. But yeah, he was a super nice guy though.
Yeah, it's like when I met like Will Friedle. He plays Eric from Boy Meets World, the older brother, and like I asked him if he could like give me a feenie, and he's like, well, like just because I get asked that so many times, if you come to my autograph booth, I'll write it for you on your autograph. But like I get asked that a million times or something. So I'm like fair enough.
No, and I wasn't like I don't want you to like grab my shirt or anything. Like I just wanted a picture with him just to say I met Biff. You know what I mean? Like I didn't bother him for like dumb shit. He knows everybody knows him from Back to the Future, but like he was super cool.
Yeah.
That is from the Sandlot and the Mighty Ducks. Yeah.
Sandlot,
I think that's his name is Brandon Jackson, I think. He's Jesse Hall in the Mighty Ducks, and he's Denunez in the Sandlot. So I got him to sign my Mighty Ducks box. I had to decide because I had both the Sandlot and the Mighty Ducks, and I went with Mighty Ducks, and I had him when he autographed the DVDs call me a cake eater on it. So
nice.
he was
awesome.
Because that's what he calls everybody in those movies, is a cake eater. And he was at the convention, the horror convention, because they were doing like a People Under the Stairs reunion, which is an old 90s horror movie that he was in, and he was right next to Sean Whalen, who was also in Twister. He was at the horror convention for People Under the Stairs, but obviously he's also from Sandlot and Mighty Ducks. So
nice.
I got him to sign my Mighty Ducks box set.
Like this
That's
is my
great.
heater. I dare you to hit it. Come on.
Yeah.
Sandlot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's great.
Nice. Here we
There's
go.
There's Carrie Elwes, from Princess Bride. Twister, he's aging very well. He still looks great. There were girls in line. There were a lot of girls in line who still swoon over that guy. Like they were like very excited to meet Carrie Elwes. Still, think he's like my ex used to think him and the Princess Bride is like one of the sexiest characters of all time. So yeah. But he was very cool.
But like he's one of those guys that like plays like a great hero, but he also plays a great villain too. Like, like a bunch of
Stranger Things. Freaking amazing villain. And of course in Wonder Woman.
And people forget he was.
Ignore me, I'm an idiot. Ignore me, they're on the wrong actor. Yeah.
No, he was in the remake of that movie, Black Christmas that came out recently, and my gosh, the movie was absolutely god awful. It was horrible, but like he played a great villain in it though. So.
People forget he was in Liar Liar, that Jim Carrey movie. Remember? Here comes the claw. The claw is coming to get you. It's the claw. He's like the goofy boyfriend.
Oh, he's the boyfriend. Yeah.
Remember, like the goofy boyfriend that Carrie's always like ragging on, but he's actually like a good dude who just wants to play like ball with the kid. Like you go and watch that movie again, and you're like, he legit like wants to be a good stepdad if they get married. Like he wants to be a good guy. Like he's a good dude. It's just he's kind of a dork. He's kind of a dork. So like Carrie just makes fun of him the whole time. But like he's a genuinely nice character. But like he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think it. But
Oh, there you go.
There's Rufio from Hook.
Yeah.
Who doesn't age for whatever reason. Yeah. Dante Bosco, who refuses to age, who's like in his 40s, I believe, and still looks like he's in his 20s.
Wow.
Yeah, he's he like
blood of a virgin.
I don't know what it is, but he refuses to age. Let me see how old he is. I'm looking it up real quick. He was born in 1975, so he is 46 years old. And this is only like a year or two ago. Yeah, he still looks like he's in his 20s. Like he's awesome. But he's actually done a lot of voice. He's done a lot of voice work too. Like a lot of people know him. He did a voice on that Avatar Last Airbender show. So a lot of people like know him from that.
He's in his 40s, doesn't look a day over 25, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's awesome.
Yeah, nice. There you go.
There's the great Billy Zane, the Phantom himself. And he's actually like as big a fan of the Phantom as all the Phantom fans are. Like he loves that movie, and he thinks it's like super underappreciated or whatever. But obviously, like most mainstream people know him from Titanic because he's the asshole in Titanic.
Oh my gosh!
Titanic.
Yeah.
Also in Zoolander. He was like, tell your friend
Zoolander, of course. Yeah. He had all most of the pictures he had on there were either from the Phantom or Titanic or Zoolander or Demon Knight, because for the horror fans, he's actually the villain of Demon Knight. 90s movie that we'll talk about. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh, here you go.
And there he is.
Oh.
It's the great Hambino.
Great Hambino.
Oh.
Yeah. Patrick Renna.
Patrick Renna, who still looks almost exactly the same. He just looks like a 30-something-year-old version of Ham. Like he looks exactly the same. But he showed up, and like he loves like the fact that people know him. Like he's talked about it in interviews that like he's like, if people only ever knew me from The Sandlot, like I'd be forever appreciated. Like I love, like all the Sandlot fans are great, and he's like, the fact that people like come to see me at conventions is like super humbling. Like I love that. So I had to go get some love for him. So got an 8x10. He's awesome. He's awesome. People were having like signed baseballs and signed baseball bats and gloves and all kinds of shit. Like he signs all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I love that he's on TikTok and kind of leans into that. So I mean, like,
of course he does.
He just enjoys the fact that he was in there, and it just makes me so happy. Like,
I like when Comic-Con people like appreciate the fans and like they lean into it, because like people, it's not like they're gonna bug you forever, but they love those movies, and they just want to tell you that they love those movies and love your characters. Like people love The Sandlot.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah, and also Patrick Renna has an awesome podcast called "You're Killing Me, Smalls" with
what?
Amazing
Ooh,
podcast. Yeah, like it's in my.
I didn't know that.
Was literally in my top 10 podcasts I've like ever listened to. Like it's really fun and entertaining. Like I would definitely recommend that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I believe that's the end of your pictures, though. So
Is that the end of it? All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Just some of the more
Remember the last
recognizable. Like I said, I probably got another 100, but it's a lot of people that kind of obscure horror people that if you're not like a big horror fan, you probably wouldn't recognize. But yeah, those are some of the more mainstream ones that people would recognize.
Yes, I don't know if you have anything else you want to show. I don't know if you got anything.
No, I mean the only physical stuff I had was I have these 2 art portfolios. Like I said, that the ones I don't have hung up that I have like I put them all in a little portfolio. So it's all these different like there's the one for Ham that I got. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, things like that. I just have 2. It's these little things where I put them in there so that this is one of those personal possessions that I'll never like lose. Like these 2 folders of things because these are things that can't be these are things that can't be replaced. Like every one of them has a story, like it's personalized. I have autographs from here from people who, like I said, who have passed away, even like George A. Romero, who made Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead. Like I have a 8x10 of him, and I met him. So yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, that's all.
Look, if your house was
burning, yeah, this is what I would grab these.
Right along with like your like family photo album, right? And you like grab those.
I don't really have a family photo album. Everything's digital now, so those aren't going to burn down. But helps, like that's more of a parents thing. But like, yeah, these 2 things, like these are my personal possessions. Like I can't replace. I can replace movies. I can replace stuff. Like I can't replace these. So yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out
that's pretty much it.
Cool, yeah. I figured I'd let you go next, Chris, just because, like, I don't want to overshadow you because I've got a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, you do, dude. I have some stuff I've kind of talked about, and I'll overlap a little bit. But yeah.
Oh shoot! And I realized that I actually closed out of the whole like Google Photos window. I got to bring it back up again. My bad.
Well, so hey,
Chris had a few pictures.
Yeah.
Hey, so I can kind of start by a little bit, though.
Yeah. If you got some stuff you want to
over the years, I've met a lot of people. I know we keep going back to The Last Airbender, but he did Arachnophobia. He's produced Indiana Jones. He's produced a ridiculous number of movies, and he continues to do so. I went to a live action premiere of the movie The Last Airbender, and Frank Marshall was hanging out in the lobby with his daughter, just at a small table. No one really was approaching him. Like, no one approached him.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So no one approached him, but he was outside. People were taking pictures of him. And I was like, initially I wasn't quite sure who he is. And then someone goes, oh, that's Frank Marshall. And so, of course, I went over to the table and I asked him and said, hey, I'm Mr. Marshall. Would you possibly sign my ticket for me? And he was kind of like, really? You want me to sign your ticket for you? Yes.
Yeah. Dude, you're Frank Marshall, bro.
I'm like, you're Frank Marshall.
You're like, bro, you produced
in the 80s, 90s.
You produced Indiana Jones. Yeah, of course.
Well, and I was like, man,
the Born
you're
Identity
the reason I am terrified of spiders is what I told him. So I have a signed ticket by him. It's somewhere I have the ticket signed, obviously, but that's one of the things I couldn't find, sadly. This one, so I know I had some things from this convention, and I feel like I probably got a selfie with Thomas Ian Nichols. But, of course, Thomas Ian Nichols has done music and stuff. But
the big screen.
So this is a signed poster from American Pie.
Oh, nice.
That he signed for me. Yeah, he's right in the corner. And he does awesome music. Like Thomas Ian Nichols is an incredible musician.
Where did you see him at?
I saw him at Worldcon, the convention I went to.
Okay.
One of the nicest human beings.
Well, he's the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep, and I geeked out about that with him, dude. And it's like, he just was one of the nicest guys. He was actually there for a book. He was there as part of this convention that he was going to be part of a movie that has not sadly been made yet. But I also I went with my buddy Charlie, who's in this photo. And, of course, Brent Spiner, Star Trek. So I feel like a nerd.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So Brent Spiner fist bumped me, but I got to stand in for his photo. Everyone in that photo is really nice. Yeah.
Was that Denise Crosby, the one that like played the grocery
Yes.
store heir or whatever? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
Tasha Yar. Yeah, she's Tasha Yar.
Yeah, Tasha
Yeah,
Yar.
She was actually
Tasha Yar.
in a flashback. She's Dexter's mom in an episode of Flashback.
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
didn't know
right.
that.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very briefly, yeah.
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 Cool.
So at the time, he already had this photo shoot, and he's like, "Dude, go ahead and just stand in for me, man. It's fine. We can do 2 people." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah. Nice.
This is an awesome artist, Josh C. Lineman.
Oh, nice.
Josh C. Lyman. You can look him up on Instagram. He's on there, probably Twitter, Facebook. But this guy's ridiculously talented. He was doing a lot of drawing on there.
That looks more akin to like the original comic book, kind of like the style that it's in.
Yeah. And he kind of had a wide mix of art. One of the other ones I know you have as part of the collection when we eventually bring it up, but is a guy who over the years he does like a lot of awesome Godzilla art. He does have a lot of amazing Batman pictures. Like he's one of the biggest Batman fans I know. So like he has a massive collection of like Batman props and everything else. And I kind of so at the Comic-Con we went to, I was actually surprised to see him there. So I had a little bit of a like I kind of tried not to fanboy too hard, but I was like, man, like I love your artwork, dude. I've been following you for a while, because initially when he's kind of out, he kind of does like the makeup and everything else, and he kind of does like it's kind of his look, what he kind of feels comfortable with. And he was telling me about how he was at another show and some girls kind of gave him crap for it. They're like, dude, why do you dress like this? And he's like, man, this is what makes me happy. But man, like I don't think like many people really recognize him that much. And I think I got to spend like about 20 minutes just talking to him about artwork and talking to him about Batman and talking to him about like a wide range of things. Sadly, I could not buy an original piece there, but I did buy one of he had a printed, and I don't have a copy of it here to show on here, but it was a Batman animated series that he'd done where it has all the characters drawn up, and he signed that for me and drew a little bat symbol. So
those artists are awesome. I have a bunch of prints. Kind of similar to that framed around my house of one stuff that I picked up over the years. Like I don't have any pictures of them for the episode, but when I designed my condo, I had like probably a dozen of them, and I've designed it to where everywhere you turn, kind of in my house, there's something to look at. So like I have some posted in like little corners and different places around the house. Like so I have Power Rangers ones. I have a Ninja Turtles one similar to yours, Chris, in my bathroom above my toilet framed because like. Nice. I thought it made sense because it's like it goes to the sewers. It goes to the sewers, so turtles and
awesome,
other different ones. Yeah, but
so I know another one that he'll pull up and kind of show, but you can't really see it. So in the story about the comic book I have, it's a Ninja Turtle variant, and I went to a local comic book store here in town, and oh my gosh, why can't I think of the comic book store? Hold on.
The Collector's Outpost, was it that one? Or
no, it's not. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Or was it Captain
look.
Comics? Or like...
Yes, Captain Comics in Boise, Idaho. Absolutely amazing place.
They're trying to think of all the comic book shops around.
Yeah, that place is so cool. And so I happen to be like back in the back room, and they have some other like more like special issues and stuff they've gotten. Well, inside a glass case was a whole bunch of Batman comics. I mean, a whole bunch of Ninja Turtle comics. They had recently purchased an entire collection for this guy. Well, one of them is a signed variant from San Diego Comic-Con back in 2012. And Kevin Eastman was there. And he signed this variant. And what you don't see, the certificate of authenticity is also autographed by him as well. So the front of the comic book is signed by Kevin Eastman, which of course
Eastman and Laird, the two guys that did the Turtles.
Yeah, but definitely one of my bucket lists. I mean, it was not cheap, and I did have to call my wife because it was about $150. And I was like, honey, are you okay if I get this here She's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. Yeah.
Drop some money on this
It's-
one of a kind thing that I'm not going to
it
find
is-
anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, and especially the fact that, going especially to like the Mecca, San Diego Comic-Con, as expensive as it is, and I believe it's a lottery or something, right? To get in, to get tickets.
Basically, it's like they sell out almost immediately, and then they have a wait list sometimes, and it's basically like by chance. And same with like hotel rooms, you have to book them like a year in advance, like all kinds of crazy stuff. Which is why they need to. Honestly, they probably need to move it out of San Diego at this point. It's gotten too big for San Diego.
Yeah, right.
San Diego's not big enough. They need to move it to like Vegas or something.
But yeah, so the point is the fact that I was able to get this, the fact that it's signed by him is just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I have a signed picture by Faith Hill. I went to a country concert, and so the marker she had was like running out of ink. So she proceeded to sign my picture like 6 different times until we finally got a solid autograph on there.
That's always fun.
So I got to go see and now I'm he's the famous one who broke all the fruit and stuff.
Gallagher.
Oh, Gallagher.
Yeah, Gallagher. So I got to go see Gallagher, and I was probably third row back. Well, Gallagher asked for somebody to come up on stage, and I freaked out, raised my hand. I was like, "Come on, come up there." So I had to be maybe 15, maybe 14. If that. I know we just moved to Idaho and we got to see Gallagher. And so I went up there, and so I got picked to go up there on stage with Gallagher. And he does this bit about, he's like, does the bear shit in the woods? That was the bit he does. And he takes a can of dog food, okay? Well, so you're
classic.
You're you're tucked behind this tree, okay, and you dump this cup of there's a thing of dog food, and you're sort of cramping like you're taking a poop, and you dump it out, and I had to say, "Does a bear shit in the woods?" And everyone just cracked up laughing. My mom was so horrified that I did this. She's like, "Seriously, you said that?" Right?
Yeah, didn't Gallagher make our Final Four for our
He made our Elite Eight. He made the Elite Eight. Yeah.
Okay, Elite Eight. Yeah.
I think he lost to Chris Rock at some point or something like that. But he made our poll. He made the Elite Eight. Yeah, there was a lot of love for Gallagher on our.
And then so on top of what was really cool is Gallagher obviously doesn't have to hang out and sign autographs. Okay, well, this was at the Taco Bell Arena, which Jordan knows what that is. But he just hung out at a table in the concourse and signed autographs for a long time, poster pictures, one of the nicest guys. Oh, yeah. And also at the time, he's like, "Hey, dude, want to break a watermelon?" And he makes it look really easy. It's not easy to do. Yeah. So that was a cool moment I had.
Force behind it.
I went to a Def Leppard concert at the time, and this was back when I was writing a weekly column for what's called the Valley Times here in Idaho. And I reached out to my boss at the time, and I called Def Leppard to see about getting an interview with Rick Allen, who at the time was doing an event for, I believe it was cancer or something like that, where you had a certain number of people who paid a certain amount of money to get backstage and meet him. Well, at the time, sadly, the interview fell through, but I was able to use my press pass to get backstage and meet him with my dad. So we go backstage, and this is probably my first. Yeah, I definitely fanboyed. I had to be 16 years old, okay? And I'd been listening to tons of Def Leppard with my best friend Jared, Def Leppard. So it's finally Rick Allen, the one-armed drummer for Def Leppard, is right here, and he's signing autographs. And I think at one point, I think I'm wearing like my Def Leppard shirt. This is the worst thing you can do, okay? Everyone was kind of tickled by this. I literally ended up taking my shirt off and had him sign it. And the gal beside me like cracked up laughing. He's like, she's like, "Are you gonna take your boxers off and have her sign those too?" But he was nice enough because I think I told
Take your
him at
pants
the
off.
time.
Take your pants off and have them sign your pants.
Yes,
They're probably used to it. They're rock stars.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure they've had different crazier things.
Yeah.
So like he signed Pyromania book for me, the CD book, and he was nice enough to sign the Vault book for me. And I was able to give that to my buddy Jared, who got me into Def Leppard. So Queensryche, who I know was wearing that shirt. So my buddy Jared got me into them, and I got to see Def Leppard 7 different times. The 7th time I went to it was a solo. Jeff Tate, the lead singer, did a couple solo albums. So he performed a little bit of like Queensryche material, but he also did a lot of his own solo stuff, which a lot of people were like, "What? We didn't pay for this." I'm like, "It's Jeff Tate, dude. He's amazing. He's ridiculously talented." Well, so backtrack. I was outside waiting to go into the show, and I happened to be talking to a guy in line because as Jordan knows, I talk to everybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like fast friends with everyone, strangers.
Yeah. Well, so I was talking to this guy in line, and I was talking about, hey, my buddy Jared couldn't make it. His plane got canceled. He couldn't make it. So I'm here by myself. But I love Queensryche. This is my 6th time seeing him. Really, really excited. My buddy really got me into him. And so at the end, he goes, "Hey, man, so I'm a member of the Queensryche fan club. Me and my wife are. Well, she couldn't make it as well. So I want to give you her backstage pass."
Oh, nice.
And I remember like giving him a hug and being like, "Thank you so much, man." So like after the show, we're kind of waiting, and Jeff Tate comes out. Scott Rockenfield comes out, who is the drummer, was the drummer for Queensryche. It's a complicated situation. But and the voice of Sister Mary from the album Operation Mindcrime came out. They all signed autographs. Scott Rockenfield, the drummer, doesn't usually hang out, but he did for this one. Signed my autograph at the time. And Pamela Moore of Sister Mary, the voice of that, also signed my autograph. And Jeff Tate did as well. And Jeff Tate took about 15 minutes with me. He obviously didn't have to, but he kind of like went around the whole room and just signed autographs for people. And I kind of like, I didn't try to fanboy, but man, I was like, dude, I love your music. It's got me through a lot. I love Queensryche so much. Sadly, my best friend Jared couldn't be here, and he's the one that got me into your music. Well, at the end, he ultimately signed an autograph for me, and he signed a dollar bill for all of them signed a dollar bill for my friend Jared, who has it on his wall. But he said to me, he's like, "Man, hey, well, go ahead and give your friend Jared a phone call, and I'll talk to him."
Oh, really?
And so, my friend Jared lived in Alaska at the time.
That's pretty rare, yeah.
And right, for him to do that, I was like, really?
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, dude, dial him up. It's fine, man." So Jared didn't answer, but he goes, "Hey, man, this is Jeff Tate of Queensryche. I heard you're a huge fan of everything I do. Thank you so much, man. You missed a hell of a show. Thank you again, man, for being a fan of Queensryche. Right on, man." And then he hung up.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
very cool. That like, if someone would actually call him up. Yeah.
So were you able to pull up my photos?
Yeah. So you ready for some photos?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, just while you're on the topic of rock stars, I'm trying to find it in my portfolio here. I did meet one rock star who I didn't include the picture there, but one of the conventions, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister was at one, and I got a picture with him.
That'd be awesome.
And I'm trying to. Oh, here it is. So if you could pull me up, Jordan, like a little bigger.
Yeah, please.
I got an 8x10 of Dee Snider.
Well, because he did that awesome 80s horror movie, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a horror movie back in the day. He was in. Remember they pop up in Pee Wee's Big Adventure, like a little bit, shooting a music video. But yeah, like I got a picture with him. I just didn't have it in the gallery.
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, I met D. Snyder. He was super cool. Like D. Snyder's awesome.
Dude, that's so damn cool.
Nice.
I just had to show that while you were on the topic of rock
Dude,
stars.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Let me
mhm.
share this. Let's see. I see what I did. Actually, where?
So,
Oh, sorry.
while you're waiting to pull that up, I can say one more that's not really seen here. But I was at a yard sale and I was looking through stuff,
Give me a
and I
second,
saw
yeah.
a signed picture by the Sticks. Well, I went
Okay.
in and bought it. The guy didn't really
The
care what he
Sticks.
had. I bought it for like $5 at the time. Well, I looked it up, and it is actually a signed photograph.
There you go.
The Sticks, along with several other bands, did things for Hurricane Katrina, and if you donate a certain amount of money, they would sign pictures for you. So I have a
Okay.
whole picture signed by the Sticks, who I've since
Nice.
seen twice. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I've
Alrighty.
seen Styx 4 times in concert because they just end up coming to Boise a lot. So I
Mhm.
would go see them quite a bit. So yeah. They put on a fun show, but yeah, as I told Austin, these pictures are in no particular order. They're just kind of like
That's
just-
all right, man. That's fine.
Bring them up in
Random.
one at a time in order. Yeah, and I'm sure Chris will give some context.
Just put 'em-
Absolutely.
Let me put them in a way that I can kind of see it better on my screen. Give me a sec. Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
All right. So
That's perfect.
Hmm.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Meeting Aaron Paul, right?
So,
Aaron Paul,
so
Breaking
here's
Bad.
Aaron
Yeah.
Paul signing this. This is actually the hat that he signed, not the other one I had.
Ah,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this little ticket, this little red tag, is his signature right there.
Nice.
It's really,
That's
really
awesome.
tiny, but it's really, really cool. That's the only thing on the hat he could really sign. But he was just really nice. Go ahead and go over to the next picture. I'm pretty sure that's with me,
Let's see.
like beside him.
Was that one?
Oh, that's us.
We're like me and you. So there's me there.
Yeah.
We like. So we campaign like pretty much all morning long down at the local radio station to like try and get into this
Mhm.
screening of the second to last episodes. That like and we didn't end up getting tickets. Actually, Chris somehow was able
I
to
did
get one
get a
actually
ticket.
from Aaron Paul, but only he got one, so he was nice enough to just say like, "No, I'm going to hang out with my friend here." So I appreciate
Mhm.
that. But yeah, we
Well,
just it's like
And
Jesse and Walt.
it started a bidding war because basically, like at the time, like I won one ticket, but I was like, I'm not gonna go watch this episode without my friend Jordan.
Yeah,
And
right.
so like at the time I was like, well, I don't want this ticket. Does anybody want it? And I just kind of said this offhandedly, I think, Jordan. I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly what happened, but then
Oh, yeah,
all of a sudden someone screams out, I'll pay you for it.
Yeah,
I have
right.
cash right now. I
Mhm.
have $200, I think is what the first
Wow.
girl said.
It was a
And
free
so
ticket,
then,
but yeah, and then
yeah.
and then
well, I mean, you get
It was a
to
bidding
meet
war.
Aaron Paul, you get to go
It
into
was
the
a
show.
hot ticket.
It was a hot
yeah,
ticket.
right, yeah.
So
Hot ticket.
at the time, I was like, it's like, no, I don't want this. And then I was like, well, okay, what else does somebody have? Someone said, oh, I have 300.
Yeah,
I think the final bid went to $500.
Wow.
yeah, yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, someone
So we
gave me
gotta-
$500. Well, and on top of this,
That's probably worth it to not go
Aaron
in.
Paul's sister at the time, I believe, was in town, and she was doing like a live interview or whatever. And she turns the camera on me and is like, "That guy just sold that ticket." And I was like, I'm just trying to go see a show with my buddy Jordan. And
Yeah,
we
yeah,
kind of
right,
walked
right.
away with like her like egging the crowd on to just like, oh my
Yeah, they're like,
gosh,
"Boo,"
she's just
they're like,
making
booing
money.
at him. Yeah.
Boo!
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, like,
dude.
it's kind of funny.
But yeah, I had
Like, hey, if someone's gonna offer money, you may as well.
But no, it was more like you just. But if you had a second ticket, you wouldn't have sold it because then you wouldn't have gone
Oh,
with
no
Jordan.
way.
Yeah, right.
No
That's
way.
what I'm saying. Like, but the problem is you only had one ticket, and like one ticket's kind of worthless if you're trying to go with two people. At that point, like if somebody's gonna pay you $500 for it, like fuck it, y'all take the 500 and go have a night out on the town. You know?
Yeah, right.
Go over to the next picture. I believe that's probably me with him from the side, isn't it?
There's one here, but I think it's a little out of order though. So like,
Dude, that's fine. We can just. So there is a photo. Oh, okay. So here we go. So this is, and I have my thing right here. This is the $1 Million Man, WWE.
Aussie, man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went to a Hawks game with my buddy Brent, who I know
What's
we
your Hawks?
put up a photo before.
Like the minor league baseball team for Boise. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Hawks. So,
Yeah.
so one of the things he got me on eBay is this.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a signed
that?
picture as well, but it's from the WWE game, NES.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
So inside this are profiles of wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Ted DiBiase signed it.
There you go.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think I told you there was both like a good experience with him and kind of a bad experience. This first experience was kind of mixed because the guy before me came up and he laid out like 20 different customized like Ted DiBiase bills. He like bought a stack of them for him to sign as he was signing the other picture. So like already Ted DiBiase was kind of like in kind of a bad mood.
I hate when people do that. Like when instead of just getting their one or two things, like they lay out a whole like 20 things. It's like, bro, like what are we doing here? Like but a lot of those times, those people they're just doing that so they can go sell them on eBay. Like they're not there for a personal experience. Like when I go to a Comic-Con, I'm there for like I go get my personal autograph. I'm there for a personal experience. Like it's not just there like those people that go to airports and shit get shit signed so they can go turn it around on eBay. Like it's stupid.
Well, so it both was a good thing and a bad thing. So this guy kind of like the air out of the room kind of changed. I got my photo with him, but initially I couldn't find his profile in this book because it's pretty small. But so he's kind of like, man, you should have had your stuff ready, you know. Yeah. So I was kind of like, okay, well, I'll just go. It's fine. Got this picture, and I kind of just left. Well, my buddy Brent's son wanted to go back and meet Ted DiBiase later, who proceeded to hang out and sign autographs, which is cool. He hung out and signed autographs for like 2 or 3 or 4 hours. Yes, he didn't have to do that, but it was cool, man. So my buddy went back, and he's like, dude, I know you're bummed that I get it, man. I would have been too. So let me take your book for you, and I'll get it signed. So he took that back from me and got it signed. I also have a picture signed by him too. But so later on, we're gonna go get ice cream, I think. And his son wanted to go do a pitching thing. So we went back by the table, and I was just like, "Hey, I just want to come up and say hello." And this is when I grabbed the picture with Ted DiBiase. Said, "Hey, man, I just want to grab a picture with you. I didn't get to grab a picture early with you." And he's like, "Yeah, man, sure, definitely." And so he grabbed a picture of me, man, and he's just like, he's talking with a bunch of these like younger kids about wrestling and like some of the most exciting matches he was part of, man. So it ended up being an incredible experience. So that was kind of a long story, but
he's a preacher
seriously
now.
One of the nicest guys. That's awesome.
Nice, huh?
Yeah, he goes around and does like every time he does these conventions too. He always has he'll do if it goes through a Sunday. He'll do a Sunday morning sermon thing because he's a preacher. So like if you want to go to that, he does like these sermons. Yeah.
Well, so that was one of the cool things that actually like lightened things a little bit because my buddy Brent had a copy of his book he wrote about being a preacher and his like rise to that, and he put that in front of him and he kind of chuckled. He's like, "Oh, only I had a body like that now." He kind of laughed. But so that was an awesome experience. You can go to the next photo.
Well, I was just gonna say that like I always hate that when you're going to meet someone like it's one thing if you're in a long line, but they're like, you should have your stuff ready, make sure everything's ready to go, because like going to meet a fan. Sometimes you're a little excited. You're just hanging out. You may not have it just like ready to go right when you walk up every time. If it's a long line, sure, yeah, you have some time to kind of stand there. If you have a booklet, like get it ready to go. But like people don't like 100% of the time aren't always going to. Like
Right.
I've been to like a few convention. They're like, hurry it up, man. Like we got a lot of people to get through. And I'm just like, really? Like this is supposed to be like a personal experience. And I get that you're like signing autographs all day, but you're getting paid to be here. Most of them. I don't know if in this situation he was. I mean, I imagine he probably was.
They
but,
definitely paid him to come.
Yeah. So, but anyways, that's just kind of a thought on that.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple of celebrities kind of do that before. And I'm like, really? But all right.
So this is a local celebrity. This is Randy, who I know I've talked about before.
Oh yeah.
Remember my interview show? I talked about Randy, who is part of 100.3 The X, and he kind of like
from the radio
has
station,
encouraged me with Albertsons and everything else. He also works for marketing at Albertsons, but he's a local DJ, one of the nicest human beings. And whenever I see him, like for instance, I think I saw him at what concert was it? I'm trying to remember now. But anyways, the point is, I saw him in the crowd and took this picture with him, and he's just been one of the nicest guys over the years. So kind of a local celebrity. He does a lot with local music, which is awesome.
Okay.
So he kind of highlights and he gives these local bands that wouldn't necessarily have a platform for music. So he really is kind of an inspiration to me for that reason.
Nice. So Chris, I don't know if you remember back in the day when 100.3 used to have Bob and Doug from like as the they're like main DJ. So like they were always super nice. I would see them all over town. They would stop and say hello to me. They even remember me by name once. Like I was surprised. And then like we went to Roaring Springs, the local water park that they have there. We actually got to play some sand volleyball against them, and we actually beat them in a sand volleyball match, which is pretty awesome.
That's so cool. I love, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my little local celebrity story, but yeah. Oh yeah, here you go.
This is Jerry Kramer. So at the time, it was a little bit after my birthday, and I'd been working a whole bunch. And this is kind of around Christmas time, which is why I'm wearing the awesome X-Men Christmas sweater. Because I just gotten done with work. But so I went to Big Al's and I met my brother, Mike, my sister-in-law, Karen, my niece, Lauren, who at the time was dating Jerry Kramer's son, who was there. So that's why Jerry Kramer was there. And we were watching a Packers game at the time, which is one game they actually won, which is awesome. At the time we won it. But I remember like my brother gave me several Christmas gifts. One of the things he gave me a legit tickets for the Steelheads, which I got to take my wife to, and she loved it. So
and also one of the things that he gave you was Jerry Kramer's actual Super Bowl ring right there, right? You have to buy it online.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be amazing. I would freak out. But so he gave me like a throwback Green Bay Packers sweatshirt and a hat. So at the time, he gave me this hat. So I put it on. I went over and I was like, I tried not to kind of freak out, but I kind of did. I was like, you're Jerry Kramer. I've been trying to find a way to meet you or get your autograph for a while. You really are seriously one of my idols. You know, you were incredible with the Green Bay Packers. So dude, I definitely fanboyed, Ben. But ultimately, he cracked up laughing. His hand, you see his hand, but it's big, dude. And he took me in a big old bear hug and kind of hugs. Man, that's fine, man. Dude, thank you so much for being a fan. And I this is one photo he took with me, but he's like, dude, go ahead and try my ring on, and it was huge. That ring was huge and it weighed so much. And he agreed to take his picture with me. But there was a moment where I had several I got to just talk to him about what it was like to play football. You know, I remember at one point I asked him, hey, what was it like to be there with Vince Lombardi and kind of be there in the beginning of kind of the Packers? And he said it was incredible. You know, he was both kind of like the nicest guy in the world, and at the same time, he kind of expected a lot of it.
Dude, he's part of the team. He's part of the team that won Super Bowl 1 and 2.
Right.
Put that in
That's what I was
perspective.
gonna say.
1 and 2.
Right.
The
original.
Yeah,
the original.
Yeah.
And there's that famous photograph with him carrying Vince Lombardi off the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, and he was just one of the nicest human beings, you know. And so he signed this hat for me. It says Jerry Kramer, his number and everything, and he dated it, you know.
Oh, nice.
But
very cool.
Yeah, it was so cool. And since then, the coolest thing about meeting Jerry Kramer is that like I've since worn like I think I wore my Packers hat out once with his autograph. And somebody told me about a Jerry Kramer story at like the Y. Like, yeah, dude, I was on a plane ride and a Jerry Kramer sitting there and he was just talking to me about what it was like to play football. So it's like that's just Jerry Kramer in general.
That's the way it is, yeah.
Yeah, so it was cool.
He got inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2018, so just a few years ago. He finally got in the Hall of Fame.
Nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my dad's a huge Green Bay Packers fan because he grew up watching Super Bowl 1 and 2 and stuff, and so like when he saw this picture, he thought that was pretty cool because he's definitely one of his heroes from when he was a kid. So yeah.
Did you guys know that Super Bowl 1, there was for the longest time no footage of Super Bowl 1? It was lost in like a fire, and but it actually was found years later. They found the entire film reel of the game from a local news company somewhere in some small town that had actually illegally recorded it, and then had the footage, and were able to recover it and send it to the Hall of Fame in Canton, and they were able to restore it, and now there is footage of Super Bowl 1.
Oh, dang!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we almost did not. We almost did not have any footage whatsoever of Super Bowl 1. They only had Super Bowl from 2 on, and all because this thing kind of almost illegally recorded it.
Wow, that's cool.
There's a whole exhibit on it. And I've been to the Canton, the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and with my dad, and there's a whole exhibit on how like that happened. You know, like all the Super Bowl 1 footage.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
It's really interesting.
That'd be awesome to go to the.
It's awesome. It's so cool. If you get a chance to do it, it's right outside of Cincinnati. It's great. Like it's really. I thought it was better than the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because I've been to both of them, and the football, the NFL Hall of Fame was ridiculously cool. If you get a chance to go, I encourage it.
There's 4 Hall of Fames I want to try to get to before I die. So like football, basketball, baseball, and then the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like those.
Yeah, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was cool. It was just for whatever reason we went to the Canton one, and like we were just blown away, like the Football Hall of Fame. So like it was awesome.
That like on our stand-up comedian episode, Paul Preston kept talking about some kind of stand-up comedian Hall of Fame, which sounds awesome. They have entire rooms dedicated to certain comedians.
Yeah,
and things like that. So yeah. Cool. but anyways, yeah, got another pick here.
So I was at the Collector's Outpost, and none other than Spider-Man was just kind of hanging out. I had to grab a picture with him. He was really, really nice enough to grab his picture with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was rocking my Green Bay Packers sweatshirt I was talking about, and my awesome hat, and my sunglasses. But yeah, Spider-Man was really nice enough to hang out and grab his picture with me, considering he's my absolute favorite Spider-Man, my favorite Marvel character of all time. Here's my cool Spider-Man ring.
Well, I guess it was a nice coincidence that he didn't have to patrol Queens that day. So
he did.
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
He was on the West Coast. He was on the West Coast hanging out.
On the West Coast hanging out, exactly on vacation. Yeah.
Right. And a little known fact is that like inside there's actually a plastic suit here that's made it's actually Tom Holland inside there. He's actually in there. So
he got stuffed and mounted by a taxidermist. Yeah, and he's just hanging out in that comic shop. It's very unfortunate. It's like that movie House of Wax.
Yeah, right. Santa Claus. Did you go sit on Santa's lap, Chris?
No, but I did get to meet Santa Claus. And we recreated that scene where it's like, is this beard real?
Oh yeah.
Man, what a lucky guy, man! You and the millions of people that get to meet Santa every year.
He's such a nice guy. He's so easy. So I don't have a photo with these guys, but I did reach out to them through their website actually. But if you do go see them in Vegas, they do hang out and they sign autographs and they take pictures and stuff. But so I reached out to them through their website and I just said, I think it was like contact us, and I was like, hey, I'm a huge fan of what you guys have done. You know, I loved Penn and Teller bullshit. You know, you guys are just great. And I would really love a signed photograph if I can get one. And I'll pay for shipping and handling and stuff. Well, like probably a couple weeks, probably not even a week later, I received this photograph in a padded envelope. And you can see it's clearly signed by each one of them, by a Penn and Teller. So that was cool.
Awesome.
I want to get out to Vegas and see their show before they stop doing it.
Yeah.
I love Penn and Teller.
Yeah, I think everyone used to go to Las Vegas at least one time in their life, because my brother used to live there, so I've been to Vegas like 6 or 7 times. But it's one of my favorite places. Like I still want to go back. Like I
went there once and loved it, and I want to go back.
Yeah.
We didn't really do the gambling thing. We did everything else that was cool.
There's plenty of stuff to do there without gambling. I mean, they have all kinds of stuff.
Right. Like I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there 6 or 7 times, and I've probably done slot machines like once. And like that's all the gambling I've ever done, and I've had a blast every time. So
probably one of my favorite things we did in Vegas was going to Wayne Newton's ranch.
Oh, nice! You went to Wayne Newton's ranch. That's awesome. That'd be cool.
Oh, we did the whole full experience, because the time we bought like a pass, and it kind of gave you like the different, because we'd never been to Vegas, but we were going down there for Rammstein, and we went down there for Stone Sour played. And I think
Rammstein would be awesome.
I want to see Rammstein.
But so my wife's favorite band, it was an extended honeymoon in Vegas. So we did several things. One of the coolest things we did, as I said, was going to Wayne Newton's ranch. And it's like you see his house, got the whole massive museum there. Yeah, it was just an incredible experience. You get so we upgraded, and I don't remember how much it was to upgrade, but maybe it was a couple $100, but it was worth it. You got to do the full barn experience where you see so Wayne Newton is the biggest raiser of Arabian horses in the world. So, and he has people come in from all over to buy horses.
Wayne Newton,
and he's famous for singing to the horses. One of the cool things is that apparently if Wayne Newton is at the ranch, he will actually approach the bus and knock on the door and come on board and say hello.
Nice.
He wasn't there at the time, sadly, but yeah, it was an amazing experience. Seriously, it was incredible. Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's like speaking of Aaron Paul, I sent you get a picture of Aaron Paul earlier. He does a similar thing. So like you can go on like a Hollywood Star tour, because he has a house in like the Hollywood Hills, but he also has one in Idaho also. But if you're ever going on a tour and he sees the tour bus out there, like he'll come knock on the door and meet the fans too. Like he's a real cool guy.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Like there's a couple of videos you can find on YouTube of like when he's actually done it. You can go watch them. Yeah. So
that's
cool.
neat.
But let's see. All right, got another one.
So this is Ben Bull. Ben, I know his first name is Ben. He's the drummer for The Offspring.
Okay.
So I got a photo with him, and actually, I found, and apparently I wasn't able to share it here, but so The Offspring is one of my favorite bands. I started off with the album Ignition from our brother Mike, listened to like Smash, and kind of went from there. It was a unique concert because it was an acoustic tour. Okay, so like they're playing like a ukulele, interesting instruments and singing. So like it was all acoustic, but it was incredible. Like they were hilarious. They played music and just kind of talked. They kind of shared like fun little tidbits from like what it was like to play with The Offspring. And then so I hung out back behind our local concert venue called the Knitting Factory. And eventually they came outside. One of the photographs I grabbed with Ben, the drummer. I grabbed a photo with Dexter. He wouldn't sign anything, but Dexter, the lead singer, would take a photograph with me and fist bump me. Noodles, when he came out, he was kind of in a hurry. But I think he just fist bumped me. He was in a hurry
Yeah,
because they were all going to get on the bus. But it was really awesome. And I was towards the front, and I shared some other pictures here too that I shared with you from that concert.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
yeah. But
hold on, let's
like,
kind of go.
Yeah, we can go through it. But I was gonna say that the Knitting Factory is a great place to actually meet a lot of like people from like some of these like bands that actually play there, because there's a spot in the back where they always have their like tour bus pulled up, and so like you know that they eventually got to come out this door and go to the tour bus. So it's kind of like one of those ones you just hang out and like stalk the performers afterward, and you'll see it in my picture that I've met a few people that way. Like some people are just in a hurry to just get to the bus, but then some of them, like one I'll tell you about in a minute, he hung out with us for like 30 minutes and just talked to us and like told stories and all kinds of stuff. So you'll see. But anyways, we'll keep moving it on. Here's a little autograph.
Yeah, so this is Marco. Okay, so actually there isn't, but so it was an incredible show. I got several things signed. Michael Purcell went on. This is the autograph I was telling you about, Jordan.
Yeah. Okay.
Michael Purcell went on to play for the Seattle Seahawks, and he recently retired. He lives in Idaho. But I saw him again. So I actually saw him at RC Willey when I was working there. And he was a regular customer. And we were talking about like sports and stuff like that. We talked about football. He's like, yeah, man, I play football. I'm like, oh, really? Do you play professionally? And he goes, yeah, I play for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm like, that's awesome. And I kind of joked at the time. I'm like, well, do you hate the fact that I'm a Green Bay Packers fan? He's like, no, don't want to get you. So I was like, hey, is there any way you'd sign something? He's like, okay, fun. So I printed off a little bit of receipt tape and pulled it off, and he signed it for me.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah. So, nice. And later on that day, I was at Big Al's, ironically, again, but I was upstairs in the arcade area, and Michael Purcell was there with his family. Well, he saw me and my friend Jordan at the time, and he went out of his way to fist bump me. Like, literally, so maybe like we're like 10 feet apart. Good, but not easy short distance. So he recognized me, and I went over and fist bumped me.
Oh, very cool. So, nice.
He obviously didn't have to do this,
Yeah, right.
But it was awesome.
Yeah. Ooh, this is where you got a Humphrey
So
Bogart
I don't know why it's zoomed in, okay, but so this is a local thrift store. Well, no, a local antique mall. Okay, and I was looking around. It is zoomed in, Jordan.
Yeah.
It is. You're fine.
I won't go any further. That's the furthest that
you're fine. So it's an older photograph, a younger photograph of Humphrey Bogart from the silver screen days, okay? And I've since looked up his autograph. I've never got it authenticated, actually. But as far as I can tell, this is about what his signature looked like. And, of course, it wasn't uncommon for you to be able to write the studios and get autographs from stars. Yep. So I feel like this is a real autograph from Humphrey Bogart, who, of course, as you know, is my favorite actor of all time. This is awesome. Yeah,
if it's real, that'd be freaking amazing. So it's probably worth a lot. Yeah. So yeah.
But I would never sell it or anything like that. So I don't care.
Yeah, it's probably more sentimental value and stuff. Yeah. Oh, here you go.
I wish I could. This is who I was talking about. The artist that I love. Who does like the Batman stuff and stuff you can see in there. And I feel like a dork right now because it literally was just looking at his Instagram page earlier. But seriously, one of the nicest human beings. And as I said, I went over and kind of fanboyed a little. And I was like, dude, I love your work. I'm excited you're here. And he's like, man, thank you so much for being a fan. And he like took time to to talk with me and visit
Most of
with
those
me.
guys at the table, like you can pay them like $20 and they'll draw you something like right there on the table, like just with a
right.
pencil or something, and then they'll give it to you like an original drawing. Like if you give them like 10
I
minutes,
think at the
they'll just like
time I
draw you
didn't
something.
have much money at the time. I think when I went to the
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying, most of those guys on those artist rows, at Comic Cons, like they'll draw you something like right there on the spot, like just like nothing like super colorized. Right? They'll just draw you something with like a drawing pencil, But like it's pretty cool, like especially if it's a character they do a lot, they can usually draw it pretty quick in like a couple
I wish
minutes.
I kind of thought about it, but I didn't
something.
at the time. I did buy my a reprint of his, but it was cool, man. One of the nicest guys.
I've been there before, where like I've been to comic conventions where like I literally dropped $2,000 on buying stuff, but then I've been to other conventions where I'm like broke and I'm just here to just enjoy the atmosphere and just meet people, but I'm not gonna be able to get anything. I've been to like kind of had both, so but you got another one.
So this is Tom Cook, who is responsible for animator and director of like Masters of the Universe, Super Friends,
nice,
and a ridiculous number of other stuff. At the time, I don't think I could afford an autograph from him, but I was like, hey man, can I just get a picture with you, man? These are all shows like that I love. And he's like, yeah, dude, definitely. I'll take a photo with you. Yeah. So this is my photograph with Tom Cook. Also, so I don't have it here, but it's one of the things that is packed away, and I'm trying to remember who it was. But he's an artist that did the original artwork for Scooby-Doo, the original Scooby-Doo, worked on the show, and also he like drew the original artwork for the album cover for the Beatles' Yellow Submarine, and I got that signed.
Okay, nice.
He was a guy that came to Boise. And at the time, people had paid big money, like things to get him signed. My buddy Brian and I just went to this thing, and we had a couple things. And I had a DVD from when Scooby-Doo meets the oh my gosh, the famous basketball group that does all the tricks and stuff.
Oh, yeah, the Harlem Globetrotters. Yeah.
Yeah, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
So I had that on DVD, and I got it signed by him.
Nice. Yeah, that's a classic episode. And it almost looks kind of like he has a shirt on of like a bunch of the characters that he's drawn before. Maybe
he does.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Nice. Let's see what else you got. Oh yeah, some Thomas Ian.
So this is Thomas Ian and Nichols performing. He just performed a couple times at the Comic Con. I don't have a photo with him. I think at the time I couldn't really afford one or something. I don't remember. But he did sign that poster for me I was talking about earlier. Yeah.
Very cool. Nice.
But ridiculously talented.
Yeah. Like I remember Thomas Ian Nichols came on the Schmodown. Like he's been on the movie trivia Schmodown. When he came in, he like came with his entrance music was the score for the Rookie of the Year, and he came in dressed up as the kid from Rookie of the Year and everything. So that was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here you're actually with Aaron Paul. You had to kind of snap it pretty quick because you're getting mobbed by like about 500 people at the time. A huge mob, and he had all the security around it. So I remember being there. Yeah. So there's that. But yeah. But speaking of Aaron Paul too, like one other thing that I was gonna say is like Aaron Paul's really awesome when he comes into town. So like he'll go on to like Twitter and like Instagram, set up these little scavenger hunts to where like he'll leave clues all around the valley. So like you have to go find all these little clues, and then at the very end, if you complete it, then you get to meet him and you get to hang out with him, and like he'll like sign some autographs, take pictures, and like a little personal kind of meet and greet thing. So like he'll even go in the local news and be like, I'm starting the scavenger hunt, so just go to my Twitter page for the first clue and like that kind of thing. And so like even he did one where like the winner, the first person to complete it, got to go out to breakfast with him or something like that. So that was pretty cool. I went to Goldie's down in downtown Boise. So yeah, so he's a good dude.
That's cool.
For sure. But there you go.
Oh my gosh, this photo is really zoomed in.
Oh yeah. I don't know why it's.
So I don't know why it's shown up the way, but oh well. So this is my buddy Travis and myself We went to go see the band Atmosphere. He's a rapper. He's
Oh, yeah.
ridiculously talented.
Atmosphere's awesome.
So this is him. But
Okay.
so I remember freaking out because it was my first time seeing him, and he came out and like walked to the crowd. He wouldn't sign anything, but he fist bumped me and he was like, "I'll take a picture with you." And he kind of like did this whole like a photo bombing thing with us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was
That's
kind of
awesome
funny.
because that's always one of the shows that I regret not going to. So my friend Mark had some tickets to go see Atmosphere, and he couldn't find anyone to go with them, and so he literally put online. He was like, "Hey, we got some free tickets to go see this band Atmosphere," and like for whatever reason, like I didn't really like know much about them at the time. So like I think I might have had some other plans, and I was kind of like, no, like I'm good. I don't really know that much about them, but now I've actually listened to a lot of Atmosphere, and they're freaking awesome. Like I love Atmosphere, so like I really regret not going to that show. That's kind of one concert that I shoulda, woulda, coulda gone to. So yeah, but
Yeah, it was incredible.
nice.
So this is my friend. Wow. Now, Ron Whitlock. He's one of my friends. I worked with him at Albertsons. He's written 2 books so far in the Eternal Love Saga. They're kind of like, so imagine it's not Twilight at all. It's like awesome, like horror romance. It's kind of its own spin on the vampire world, and it's incredible. And I bought his first 2 books at the time there, pictured there. He had hard copy or he had physical versions of them and signed them for me. I know he's currently working on a 3rd book in the series and getting it published, but I wanted to kind of feature that on here to kind of give it. So yeah, if you've never read the Eternal Love Saga, there's 2 books in the series. You definitely need to check it out.
Nice. You just reminded me of another autograph that I have that I just kind of grabbed out of the closet real quick. But anyways. Ooh. This one kind of made me chuckle just a little bit, but it's cool. You got to meet Bob.
So this is Bob Redmill. If you've ever seen like his product on his shelves or anything, he's been in business forever. Okay. And dude, my beard is massive in that picture, man. Yeah. So he came to the store and he literally signed autographs, I think, for 3 hours.
Nice.
And he brought his own cookbooks. There was no charge for it or anything.
He set him up in front of the frozen chicken.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's funny because what makes me laugh is that almost all the Bob's Red Mill products have his face on it. When he looks here, exactly like it does on all his products.
And he was just the nicest human being. It's like he came in and he kind of just talked to people, visited with people, and it's there are a lot of people that have a lot of love for his products and stuff. So it's so that was cool.
Here you go,
and he signed that cookbook for me, personalized it.
Yeah.
Did you see top of the beard? No, I tried, but you have to have musical talent, Mike.
Right.
I have I can't even play a recorder.
Nice.
So this is one of the autographs that I couldn't locate at the time, but of course this is the great Janet Leigh.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to feature
Janet
that.
Leigh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, what is Janet Leigh from again? You guys.
Psycho.
Remind me. Okay, Psycho.
Psycho.
That's right. Okay. Yes. Psycho.
Yeah.
Right.
And
awesome.
Well, yeah, she's Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Very awesome. So yeah, that's the end of the photo. So yeah.
Trying to think of a couple more little stories. So talking about meeting bands before they're so the Knitting Factory, I got to meet Drowning Pool. Those guys hung out and signed autographs. That was really awesome.
Nice.
I got to meet Saving Abel.
Hit the floor. Yeah.
So I got to meet Saving Abel. This was 2 years. Oh, yeah, about 2 years before they announced they were retiring.
Cool.
So I hung out back at this one, and they came out and they signed autographs and they signed my ticket and stuff. So, and I have a poster signed by them. So it's pretty awesome. And they announced that Jared Weeks, who was the original lead singer, is back with them. So they'll be back on tour.
nice.
And I got to see Boba Flex perform. That was awesome. And I think paid about $50 or whatever if you bought a certain amount of merch. And so me and my wife got to go on the bus and hang out with them and kind of talk about music and everything, man. They've done so much good stuff. Cool. Gosh, I bet way too many people there.
We better get to Jordan before this episode runs to 4 hours.
So I'll kind of say that my last one was Adelita's Way. I got to hang out with those guys and meet them. They were nice. So yeah,
well, mine
Jordan, take it away.
Mine won't be 2 hours long, so like we'll be good. but I'm gonna gonna try to fly through a lot of my pictures pretty quickly. So because I got a lot of stories and different things.
Sorry, I got kind of long on some of those.
No, you're good. Like I think that it's fine. Like I don't mind if this episode is a little long because this is some cool stuff. This is stuff that like I'm definitely super into. So it's pretty interesting for me. So but yeah. So like I've been to Salt Lake Comic-Con 4 times, and like that's a huge convention. So I got a few little pictures of like just how massive this convention actually is. The Salt Palace in Salt Lake City is where the Utah Jazz originally played, and then they moved over to the Delta Center, which I don't know what they call it now. It's not the Delta Center. It's they have some other kind of name for it.
There's a podcast I listen to called the Geek Show Podcast, and they're based out of Salt Lake City, and they broadcast from there like almost every year. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like them set up there. Like they usually have a booth where they do like a live show. But yeah, like they're based. I've heard them talk about it a lot because it's probably one of the top 5 like biggest ones in the country at this point. Like it's pretty. It is. Pretty huge. Yeah.
Yes, one of the things is that my uncle, which I have a picture of him coming up here in a minute. He's one of the assistant directors for the Salt Lake Comic-Con. So like he has a lot of hookups. So like he's got me in for free a couple of times, gotten me some like gold passes and like
VIP badges. Yeah,
some VIP. Nice. So this VIP, my very first one, I actually paid for this one outright. It was like $250, but like literally though, like you got to go to it's like the pre-party. So I went to this pre-party. They had the band Rock Sugar, which is actually Jess Harnell, who does the voice of Wacko from the Animaniacs. He has a rock band, kind of like almost kind of like akin to like an 80s hair metal band. So like he played their band played the opening party along with they had a DJ, which was Elijah Wood from Lord of the Rings. He came in with like a guest DJ. So he was up there, so that was a lot of fun to get a couple cool DJs like that. But yes, I got to go to that. I got to go to a couple private meet and greets with a few celebrities, and then you also got a free pass to the front of most of the like photo op lines. But for whatever reason, they they had it for the autograph lines too. Now that I think about it, so yeah, they had like an express line, kind of like how they do it at like Disney or like Universal. You got like those like express passes that get you to the front of the line. It's sort of like that, and you got a T-shirt, you got everything, but like this is like probably I think my second Comic-Con that I've ever been to that actually won free ticket. So I like wrote this, and when I got it, this is back in like 2014 or something like that. So like I wrote like a whole thing. They said like if you could describe the Salt Lake Comic-Con experience in one paragraph, how would you describe it? So I just like made up this whole thing, and then I got this thing saying, "Congratulations, you just won a pair of gold passes." So I wrote "Best day ever" and like posted it on the Facebook. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go for free." So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so like I was like super excited about that. This is my uncle Blake. So like I was dressed up as Gambit from the X-Men, and my uncle Blake, he's the one that's like the assistant director for it. So like he was on a couple panels there. So, and then there's a couple that I'm gonna fly through quick, and like I may even skip over just a couple of pictures because there's a couple of kind of like there's real minor celebrities, but the pictures, like I said, they're in no particular order. Like, so I actually snapped this picture here. It's a little blurry, but it's Jason David Frank getting a headlock from Chandler Riggs. So I thought that was like a cool moment to like hurry and snap a picture of. And when I started taking pictures, like a bunch of other people started taking pictures also. And then this picture ended up like on their website, and I think maybe even like in the newspaper too. So
that's cool.
So like, yes, it's a pretty interesting picture. And So this is Kelly Wu. So who's in she
X2.
Oh yeah, she was in X2. She played Lady Deathstrike, the lady with like the big long claws or whatever. She
Kelly
was so
Hu,
nice.
right? Kelly Hu, yeah.
Yeah, Kelly Hu. Yeah. And so she, but like nobody was like going up to her booth because a lot of people didn't really recognize her outright. And so like we just walked up and we started talking to her for like 10 minutes. Like she just kind of hung out and like took individual photos with me. And my friends Sam and Audie that were at the convention with me, so that was fun. And then
my theory about every actor starting out in horror movies holds true for her as well, because she gets killed by Jason in Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. She gets strangled to death by Jason.
Oh yeah,
nice. Yeah.
But everybody has to start with a horror movie. Everybody.
Yeah, right. And also too, well, I don't know if it was this way for you, Austin, but like in a lot of conventions, like it's like I just walk around like a giant tourist. So like when I see people like a cool costume, I just walk.
Yeah.
I'll walk up to them and be like, hey man, can I get a picture with you? And it's like I have a lot of just kind of pictures with like different people that I thought was cool.
Well,
so, like,
yeah, no, but that's the thing is like
all the other
is most people. Like most of the fans who were just like dressed up, like they love taking pictures of people who like asked to take pictures of them. Like we had people when we were walking around, me and Dagan as Hugo Strange and the Penguin. Like we had a ton of people taking pictures of us, like and wanting to take pictures, especially if we had other villains or like or Batmans or whatever. Like people love that stuff, man. Like it's they usually don't like they're all for it.
So
like,
it's funny. I didn't think to include some of those because we were talking about just like celebrity encounters, but I ran into like there was a group of Spider-Mans together, and it was like, "Hey man, can we create that meme where we all kind of point at one another?"
Right.
They recreated that one with me in the middle.
Nice.
There was
Very cool. Yeah. So like basically, well, they just kind of said like yeah, you can go around, you can take all the pictures that you want. Maybe just ask people before you take a picture.
Yeah.
Just randomly take pictures, you know. So like here, I got like a Cyclops, a Storm, Rogue, and then a Jubilee, and then another Gambit, which I kind of had probably had a better costume than I did. I just kind of like threw mine together with the bunch of like stuff that I found at some thrift stores. But if you read my actual shirt, it's a Gambit shirt that says like Remy LeBeau's card shop from New Orleans. I still have that shirt. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then this is me and my friend Liz. So like me and Liz, we actually dated for a little bit, probably like about 8 or 9 months. She actually had passed away from cancer, so she had brain cancer, which is a pretty sad story. But we're sitting here on the original the deck of the Starship Enterprise. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so we did that, and then me and Liz with the TARDIS. Yeah. And then here's a picture. Me and my friend Sam meeting John Bernthal from The Walking Dead, which Austin had a picture with him too. But like he was super nice. So like he like came out and he like crouched down at Sam's level because he's in a wheelchair. He's been on the show a couple of times. He's one of my good buddies. But like later on the Comic-Con, he was just walking around. He actually recognized us and he's like, "Hey Sam Jordan, what's going on?" Give us a little fist bump later on. So I thought that was like really awesome.
His line, I'm probably pretty sure, was probably significant longer than the one when I met him. Am I right, Jordan?
Oh yeah. Pretty,
right.
Decent line. So if you can tell, this is when we had VIP passes, so you can see like the longer line over here, and this is the VIP line. We just went right up to the front. And also having someone with a wheelchair actually pays, because even without passes, like a lot of people in wheelchairs get bumped to the front of the line. So I just told him that I was his companion, because I was kind of helping him out, kind of helping him carry things, or if he needed help getting in and out of different places, I would kind of help him out. So yeah, but he's pretty He's pretty capable though. Like he doesn't really need much help. Like I barely really had to do much for him. But the picture that I found here that actually has to do it with Chris. So I got Chris an autograph 8x10 of John Bernthal at the convention. So I sent that.
So freaking cool. Yeah.
Which is awesome. Yeah. But then just some of the really awesome costume. So like my buddy Sam's kind of going up against this guy who had like an AT-AT costume from Star Wars, or like the well, a walker, I guess you would.
Excuse me, it's called an ATST. Those are the smaller versions.
There you go.
Yes,
Excuse me,
Freaking
get it right, Jordan. It's not an ad.
Get it right.
It's not a walker.
Yeah.
We don't want to get hate mail, Jordan.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I want to get it correct since I'm like being a geek here and showing all my geek photos. But my friend Sam though didn't. Like he's really awesome when it comes to Photoshop. He did a really awesome Photoshop where he's shooting some like red lightning at him because his costume was supposed to be the character Cole from the game Infamous. It's like one of the first games that ever came out when they had the PlayStation 4, and so he's a huge Infamous fan. So like he has a really cool Photoshop of it, which I couldn't find the actual Photoshop, but I grabbed that one. But like this is with Jason David Frank from the original Green Ranger from the Power Rangers. So Jason David Frank, we got to do a private meet and greet with them. That was about that. There's only 15 tickets and 15 people that got to go in this little conference room. They had all kinds of Power Ranger themed foods and like sugar cookies and like different things that were like shaped like all these Power Ranger things. We just got to hang out and just ask them questions for like an hour, and we got to just like really like to learn some really cool things. So like he actually broke the world record because he's a black belt martial artist in like several different martial arts. I can even be able to even name all the black belts of different martial arts that he has. But he had the world record for breaking the most wooden boards while skydiving. So like he like broke like I think it was like 15.
Wow.
He was skydiving. So that's pretty awesome. The video you can go on YouTube. You can see it on.
Well, unfortunately, the time I met Jason David Frank back in like 2008, he was not as enthusiastic about meeting fans as he is now, and he wasn't embracing it back then. It was like when he was first just starting to do conventions, and like he was in that mode where he was like not terribly enthusiastic about embracing the Power Rangers thing, and like like he was not in a great mood, and like he was not like Steve Cardenas was next to him. He was cooler, but like. He's obviously kind of embraced it later and realized he could basically make a living on it now. You know, it's like one of those things.
Well, speaking of that, I have a little story about Jason David Frank and Steve Cardenas. So I was with my friend Audie and Sam. Like we went to the convention. It was our first time there, and we're like, man, we're like these celebrities like got to be staying somewhere nearby. They got to be in like some of the hotels here. You need to find out which hotels that they're staying in. See if we can find them walking around the lobby or walking through the hotel and like kind of stalk them, kind of low key. And so we actually found out where Jason David Frank was actually staying, and we actually saw him in the lobby, just kind of sitting, kind of like back in one of the like corners of like one of the biggest hotels in Salt Lake. But like we didn't want to make a huge deal because we're like this is kind of creepy. We're not really like, but we're kind of stalking him in a way, but we're not. We don't want to make a huge scene or anything. So we're just like we just walk by. We're like, hey, JDF, what's up? We just did it kind of quietly, and we just waved at him, and then just walked by. We didn't really want to make a huge thing. We didn't want to bother him when he's like prepping to like do all that stuff. That was kind of funny. We actually found him in the lobby.
We don't want to bother him. We're just gonna try to stalk him and find out what hotel he's at, and try to catch him. Yeah, and find out what room he's in, and go stand outside his room. Yeah,
right.
And go sit outside his room with the Power Ranger gear on, and sing the Power Ranger song to him.
Well, literally, we didn't even know like he was even staying there. We just happened to just see him in the lobby. So it's like it's not like we were stalking him like specifically. We just kind of saw him there. So we're like, we just heard that like some of the like celebrities from the convention might be staying at a specific hotel. We wanted to go like walk through it and just see. but anyways, so this is like more pictures of my Gambit costume. I actually had some like colored contact lenses, which like back in the day, I had a really crappy phone that took a lot of blurry pictures. It's not like the phone that I have now, so you can see it a little bit. But like literally, so that was my first time ever putting contacts in my eyes, and it literally
those things suck. Those things suck.
Yeah, it took me 15 minutes to get them both in, like literally 15 minutes before I had them both in the way that I actually wanted them. They kept falling out and getting stuck or like crooked.
They don't stick like regular contact lenses do, like prescription like vision contacts. The like colored ones and the vanity ones are not the same. Like you have to get them right in the right position, and some of them are uncomfortable because my buddy Dagan, when he does his tyrant character when he wrestles, he puts in some of those ones that make like your almost all white, you know, with like the little people in the middle. But like it takes him a while because like they don't work like regular contacts.
Yeah, right. This might be a kind of a better looking picture of it, but like if you look close, so like I had some that were like red eyes with the black in the middle, but then for one of my other costumes that I did that I'll show in a minute, I switched it up to some red with some yellow in the middle, so like you'll see that coming up here soon. But like I just like when like found like a rogue here because like Rogue and Gambit were a couple in the comic books, you know. So let's see. This is one of the low-key people from The Walking Dead. She's one of the little girls. There's an episode where like Carol has to take her out and shoot her because she like
look at the flowers.
Yeah, look at the flowers because it's like she wanted to like kill her sister because she wanted to like turn her into a zombie and then just kind of have a zombie walking around because she didn't really understand that like no, you don't just turn someone into a zombie because then they attack you, but like she didn't really get it. So she's like and she's obsessed with this. So like there's no basically like it came down to if I don't do this, she's gonna kill her behind my back like while I'm sleeping or something. So I gotta just do it. So yeah.
I didn't send you the picture, Jordan, but I got a picture of the girl from The Walking Dead who's in the very first scene of the first episode when Rick has to shoot the little girl zombie in like that parking lot.
No.
Do you remember that? Like the little zombie girl who opens the show. She was at that same convention. But that's literally like the opening scene of the show was him shooting that, and then they kind of flash back a little bit. But yeah, like I got a picture with her.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, and this is my friend Audie that came to the convention with us. But so a couple other pictures because these pictures are just kind of randomized. But so this is the lead singer of the band Neon Trees. So like I went and saw them, and like they're like super down to earth, super cool. So that's one of the ones I waited outside the knitting factory for him to come out. And he literally like hung out with us for like 30 minutes. So like we got to hang out with like the whole entire band, get pictures. They're telling us stories. We're like, man, the next time you guys come, you're gonna be playing like arenas, and they're like, no, like we're not really built for arenas. Like we probably could, but we just like going to the little clubs and just kind of making it intimate, you know, just like that way we can do more things like this, meeting fans outside and having these little moments with them. So his name's Tyler. I forget his last name, but like literally though, like
Tyler Glenn. I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah, Tyler Glenn. So like he is like freaking awesome. So when he performs, he literally reminds me of Billy Idol. Like he like has the whole suit, the whole get up, and like he really like he's a really kind of like super flamboyant performer. Like he really does some of the cooler shows that I've ever seen. Here's a little picture of me and Chris. This is when me and Chris went to go see the band One Republic. So like went and saw One Republic and The Script and American Authors. So like it's not really like a Comic-Con or like celebrity thing, but I just wanted to kind of show that off since we were both on the podcast together. So like,
yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Incredible show. Yeah. Well, dude, you got tickets is what it was, I think.
Yeah, so I got tickets, and then like Chris was like, One Republic, like I don't really know much about them. Like I don't know if I really like them. No, like not really my thing. But then went to the show, and like literally we're like floored. We're like absolutely blown away. That give an amazing performance. And when the lead singer for Neon Trees, which I'm trying to think of, was named Teddy. It was Teddy something, but I forget. But I mean, not for Neon Trees, for One Republic. So like he literally writes music for like a lot of big name singers. So like he writes music for like Taylor Swift, for like Rihanna, CeeLo Green. Like he writes for all these. He's like big name, like B.O.B. Like he writes music for him. So like, so he's super talented. But anyways, so this is when I got my free gold passes that I won. So like I just had the whole spread of everything that they sent me in the mail, and then they sent me 2 passes. But the thing is, I was just going with some friends who had already bought tickets. So one of the cool things I got to do it. So when I got to Salt Lake, we were us were just riding around on the tracks that they have a thing that's called tracks, TRAX, and it's kind of like they're like form of like cable car, the kind of like public transportation. And so like I got a gift a Comic-Con Gold Pass, just a random person on the track. So like that was pretty awesome. They're super excited. They're like, yeah, we met this couple, and they're like yeah, we really want to go to Comic-Con, but we're not able to get any passes. Like we might be able to afford one, but we certainly can't afford two. That's just too expensive. I'm like, well, you know what? Like I actually won these for free. I have an extra one I'm not going to be using, so I just gave it to it. And like they were super excited to get it. They're like really grateful. So like that was something kind of fun I got to do to kind of pay it forward a little bit. So
yeah,
so that was
that's awesome,
fun.
man.
Yeah. So, but just going through it quickly, I got to sit on the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones. So that's me and my Marty McFly costume, pretty much. Yeah. And then here's me showing off the Marty McFly costume with the Gray Sports Almanac and like the hat. I got the puffy vest, all that stuff. But like literally though, kept giving me all this free stuff that was like Back to the Future related. So I had a whole entire backpack filled with like merch, and then I had this other bag filled with stuff. So my hands were like pretty full. So, but yeah. So I had that. Oh, that's me taking one of those creepy pictures of Austin St. John, the original Red Power Ranger. You can see there. So like one of those like from a distance, because I'm out of money because my money's going to like a few bigger celebrities that were at the convention. So, yeah. So, but this is meeting Joel Hodgson from Mystery Science Theater.
Ooh, that's awesome.
With my friend Mark, and me and my friend Mark went as Marty in the dock, and like literally like the whole entire reason why Mark came to the convention is he wanted to meet Joel Hodgson because he's like a diehard MST3K fan. So like we went out of our way to like pay extra to make sure that we got a good photo with them and everything. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so we got that. This is just with like some of the 501st Legion. You got some people cosplaying as like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and stuff. So that's cool. And also there's a Darth Vader getting choked out by Vader. But this year was like one of the panels that I went to. So you have Felicia Day here. Then you have Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings, Sam. Then you have Alan Tudyk here. So it's kind of like a little mashup with like some of the people that they had at the convention. But like we were pretty close. We're like in the second row. So like we're right up front for that panel. So like here's even another picture of Alan Tudyk that I snapped there. But then so just a couple of pictures, just kind of with like some cool
that's
costumes.
awesome.
I saw a Darkwing Duck. And then they had this big thing you can get in. You can pose like you're a toy. So I did that. I saw someone like a cool Shredder costume. But
that's great.
But the next one though, so like this was actually when not at a comic convention, but like this is my Darth Maul costume that I wore to the premiere of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Well, like the premiere for my theater that I worked at. We got to see an early fan screening of it. And actually, the person that actually did the makeup for it was someone you know, Chris.
Mary.
Her friend Mary, yeah. So like Mary, who lives over in the
incredible work.
Yeah. So like she does really awesome makeup. One got the like bald cap, and I made the horns from scratches, some certain clay you can get and some coloring. You can. I made all the horns and everything, and then I got the like colored contacts for that. That's like red with the yellow and stuff. And then so I just had like a random lightsaber because like a real cool authentic lightsaber, those are expensive, like $150, $200. But I just got some kind of cheap looking little kind of colorful lightsaber. But so I just had fun with it, you know. But
you got the Pride Saber.
Yeah, the Pride Saber, right? Yep. It was every color of the rainbow. But yeah, there's a couple from some other things. So like this is when I went to go see Doug Loves Movies. So you have Doug Benson, Sam Levine, and then a Big J Okerson and a couple other
that's
some
cool.
local people that like just like came. We had a couple local comedians from the area. And they had this like 12-year-old kid there too, or I think he was even younger. I think it would have been like 10, but like at a Doug Loves Movies, which like sometimes can get a little vulgar sometimes. So like it just depends on the night. But yeah, so they definitely had that there. But then this is me and my wife Shannon. So we went and saw Andy Grammer, and and we were like right up front. So I thought that it was cool. We got some cool pictures. Looks like he's kind of dancing on our head, kind of thing. So like that was fun. One of the things I wanted to show off also, like one podcast I'm a huge fan of. It's called Welcome to Night Vale. So like it's this kind of weird, kind of creepy, kind of almost kind of borderline horror style of podcast, but it's not quite horror. It's just them talking about just like just random like occurrences and like really creepy things on that happen in this town called Night Vale, and they the whole like premise is like just random, just like as many random things as you possibly can. So they came. So like here it's my aunt and uncle. So that's my aunt Carrie, my uncle David. These are two of the main guys from it. So it's like this guy in the middle. Forget his name, but like he's the main narrator. He like narrates the whole entire thing. And there's a main girl from it too, and like she's there. But like just to kind of show you, so I got this poster here that's signed by the whole entire cast. So you have like
that is so cool.
All the autographs. But if you ever get a chance to check out Welcome to Night Vale, like it's a story form podcast where like each episode kind of revolves around different kind of like supernatural events about this town called Night Vale, and like they have like alien encounters and like there's a thing called like the Strange Glow Cloud or the Sheriff's Secret Police that I just had there. So it's a fun podcast, and I would definitely recommend it. But a few more pictures. So this is Sean Astin from Sam from Lord of the Rings. So this is when we got to meet him. So that was a lot of fun. He at the time he had some kind of Christian kind of film coming out because like he does. Lately he's appeared in a lot of Christian kind of movies. So like I just kind of just brought up one of his like lesser known movies, and he's like, man, like I'm so glad you brought that one up. Like you're gonna love it. If you're into that kind of stuff. Yeah, like I got a lot of that kind of stuff coming down the pike. So like he was kind of just telling me about that. There's me and Mark just kind of posing in our costumes before we left to go to Salt Lake for the convention, but one of the really cool things I got to do. So like I've gone to the Warped Tour every single a year, like almost every year. Like I've probably been to Warped Tour at least like 12 or 13 times, and I've only missed a couple of years here and there. And there's a band called Tonight Alive, and I forget the main singer's name, but they're from Australia, and they're pretty similar to like an Evanescence kind of, but I like them better than Evanescence. They're really talented, and so they had this private thing where you could go and like meet them, and then like sit in this little tent, and they kind of give you some inspirational stories, some inspirational advice. You get to ask them personal questions about their music and like them personally. So like that was the lead singer, and that was their drummer from the band. And like they're super inspirational. They're like really nice, and then they lit some incense too. Kind of made it like a little hippie kind of vibe kind of thing in there. So, but I got a little autograph. So like during the concert, they like had a bunch of beach balls you could kind of bat around. So I grabbed one of them, and actually have the deflated one here. You can kind of see like the Tonight Alive thing here. So I'll even. So there's that, and it has all their signatures on it too. So I have that. So there's that. And when I got to meet her too, this is my friend William. He lives down in Utah, so this is kind of halfway in between Boise and Utah, where we went to the Warped Tour there. And so I was over at the Utah State Fairgrounds. So we did that. That was cool. So there's a couple other celebrities. So this is when I got to meet Chris Evans. So like Captain America himself. So like that was freaking awesome. So like he really liked my Marty McFly costumes. So like all the cast, so they had the entire cast of Captain America, the Winter Soldier there, and like they all like really dug my Marty McFly costume. They're like all complimentary. Like that's one of the like cooler costumes that I've seen here. Like you really have it pretty authentic and stuff. So like that was a lot of fun to meet Chris Evans. And then speaking of so like Chris had the picture hanging out with the Spider-Man over at the Collector's Outpost. This is me and him just kind of posing, doing a little lightsaber duel there. So we did that. We got a couple fun pictures, and then me kind of choking Chris out using the Force. So those are some cool pictures from a little local comic book shop that we have there. But the next couple of pictures just kind of show like the massive size of like how big Salt Lake Comic Con actually is. This is like maybe like less than a quarter of like how big this convention center actually is. So like basically down here at the bottom probably goes about 4 times the size of what you can see here down this way. Then it turns the corner here about 4 times the size down that way. Then they had 3 floors of like things that were this size, literally 3 floors. It's like crazy, and it's like wall to wall people everywhere. This convention is huge. Like it's one of the probably the like top 5 or 6 biggest convention in the whole United States. So it's a huge convention. So like literally when I walk in, like I see everything, like at all these booths, I'm like, I want everything here. I want to buy everything. Like I'm gonna go broke. So it's like kind of one of those things. But we got to be careful with your money because like the photos cost, the autographs cost, like everything. So this is probably one of the ones where like one time I dropped over $2,000, and my dad was like really pissed at me after I did that that I like spent that much money. But then here they actually did so we're in the Guinness Book of World Record. You can't see me, like I'm actually in this, but I'm like somewhere way the heck in the back though. I barely made it in at the last second, and they're doing this. But it's the Guinness Book of World Records for the most people dressed as characters from a comic book in one location at one time. So they actually broke the record there. So that was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
But, yeah. So there's another convention. So I went to one other convention called ToyCon that was in Las Vegas. So this is where we're gonna meet.
It's Greg Grunberg or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Greg Grunberg, and so he's doing like the mind reading from Heroes, trying to read my mind. So, but like he was like super awesome. So like he actually had a booth right next to Ernie Reyes Jr. from like like Surf Ninjas and like
Secret of the
Ninja Turtles.
The Secret of the Ooze, yeah. So like they're just kind of talking back and forth. So like they're like sharing stories, and then he's like, he was asking, he's like, so why didn't you do Turtles 3? Why weren't you in that one? He's like, well, we left it so I can star in this little movie called Surf Ninjas, and it ended up being a total flop. And I kind of wish I did Turtles 3, honestly. But
yeah, but Turtles 3 was a flop too.
Yeah,
and I love Surf Ninjas.
I know,
Seriously?
but like at least he's like the star of Surf Ninjas. He just would have been a side character in the third one. He probably wouldn't even been in much. He probably wouldn't have been in much at all. But like he wouldn't have been in the third one much at all, even if he had been in it, because like most of that movie takes place in like that samurai world or whatever. He probably just would have been bumming around with Casey Jones in those couple scenes, like in the subway. Like he wouldn't have been doing anything. You know.
But one of the cool things that I got. So like so at the I saw the Comic Con. I also met Rob Schneider there. So like I went to his panel. Like he was awesome. Like he did the like you can do it, and like he like told like a lot of cool stories. He talked about like working with what's his name, Sylvester Stallone with like Judge Dredd and everything, and like he had stories from that. But I got it signed by him. So you can see that I got signed by Ernie Reyes Jr. Also got it signed by Rob Schneider. And then so like I was talking to him, I was like, man, the only thing that I wish is that Leslie Nielsen was still alive. Like I wish that I could get an autograph from him. And he's like, well, you know what? We'll do you one better. Like he's not alive, but I'll just sign his name for you. Well, inside, he just signed Leslie Nielsen's name there. You can see it, but it's actually signed by Rob Schneider though. So like it's pretty funny. But he's like, probably if you go online, if you go into eBay, I think you can actually pick up an autograph there if you really want one. So like I
took my Surf Ninjas DVD to one of his stand-up shows to try to catch him afterwards, to try to get mine signed by him too. Yeah. And it was kind of the same thing. Like he comes out and he does all the catchphrases at the beginning just to get him out of the way because he knows people are going to yell him. And like I tried to get him to say, because I started yelling Moto Surf, Moto Surf. Yeah. And like he didn't say it, but yeah, like he goes out there and he's smart because he goes out there and that's like the first thing he says just to get it out of the way. Because otherwise people would just yell him at him the whole time. Like so he goes out there and yells like every catchphrase from like everything just to like get it out. He's like, get out of your system right now so we can have like a stand-up show. You know, like whatever.
Yeah, he did the same thing. Like he did like you can do it and like making copies, and he did a bunch of those different.
Yeah,
ones, you know?
I think Rob Schneider's coming here actually.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen him. I've always wanted to see him. Yeah,
He's a good
like, he's
stand-up.
awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, like he was super awesome, and like when I think that like in his panel, like he even did a little stand-up because like he was pretty hilarious, you know. So like he did that, and then like at his booth when he was signing autographs, like he took about like 5 to 10 minutes with each person. His line wasn't super long, like it was decently long, but it wasn't one of those out the door lines kind of things. So like he would take a little time with everybody, so that was cool.
that's cool.
But like yeah, like back in the day though, like I used to go to so many concerts. Like I used to go to a concert almost every weekend. Like I was going to so much. It's one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. So I'm a diehard Sum 41 fan. So this is one of those ones where I waited for him after the show. Against that, that's the drummer from Sum 41. So I got to meet him. And actually, was like a funny quick story. Is that like first off, the bass player we walked by and there's this other girl out there. And she's like, "Hey, do you mind if I get a picture with you?" Just like, who should get a picture with? Must be like a friend of hers, because like they're in their street clothes, so it didn't really look the same as they did on stage. And so so she got a picture, and then he just walked up, and I saw him go in their tour bus. I'm like, who is that? He's like, that's so and so, the bass player. I'm like, what the frick? Like I should have got a freaking picture. So like but I missed that one. But then I got a picture with the lead singer, Derek Whibley, which is freaking awesome.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
I love Sum 41 so much, man.
But like one of the crazy things is that like it's like they were like totally different than they were on stage. They just have like a stage present, but they're super kind of just quiet and kind of humble, kind of just like
really.
More like
Most of them
mild.
are. Most of those performers are, because like they're so out, you know, spoken or crazy on stage or whatever, and then like most of them are like super quiet off stage, you know, or in their personal life. Yeah.
Yeah, Boba Flex was that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like he just came up to me, he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Like I was just like dude, like you're freaking awesome. You're one of my favorite bands of all time. You mind if I get a picture with you? And then I was like, "Sure, yeah, let's get a picture." And like he just kind of totally calm, totally just like whatever, you know. Like probably he was like kind of tired because like these bands probably have like a pretty like touring schedule that's like one after the next, they're going to all these cities. They probably like by the end of the day that they're probably tired, so they just want to like get back to the bus or like go to sleep or something, you know. but anyways, yeah. So like a couple more of my celebrities that I've met. So I was meeting Nathan Fillion. So we met Nathan Fillion from like Firefly and The Rookie and The Castle and everything. He was super awesome. Like we couldn't think of what kind of pose that we want to do with him. Because he's just like, we should do a cool pose. What do you guys want to do? And then there's like we didn't really think about it. Like they're just kind of shuffling people in and out pretty quick. So he's like, well, just get down by the wheelchair here, and I'll just pose like this. So we just did it kind of quick, but yeah. So we got to meet Nathan Fillion. This is Elijah Wood. So like we met Elijah Wood. So like this is my brother Trent. This is my brother Cade. They're both massive Lord of the Rings fan. Like literally, like he was the main reason why they came to the comic convention. But this is my wife's daughter's adopted sister. So that's Chloe. There, she came in with us. But I let him hold my hoverboard in the picture. And when we were getting a picture with him, we got to sit and talk to him for about 10 minutes because they were having technical difficulties with the cameras or whatever. And so he's just like, so like, you guys having a good time? Like a little awkward at like first. We had to think of some small talk. We're like, so how you enjoying it? Or how you enjoying the convention? We're like, we're good. We're having a fun time. And then we just kind of got into some other stuff, talking about like some of his movies and stuff. But like,
so like was like Mount Doom really hot?
Yeah, right.
That lava. Ask like dumb questions.
Yeah.
You're like, no, that's a movie.
I think it was a real place. Shh, it's real.
So like, did the ring actually fit on your finger? Or
yeah, does the ring like cut off your circulation on your finger?
Yeah,
like,
what was it like going invisible?
Yeah,
how does that ring like? Does it fit everybody the same, or is it like tight on some people and like loose on some people?
Right.
You gotta hold it on there.
Just like some really dumb questions.
Like, how does it fit everybody's finger?
Stupid questions and like look stupid when I'm put on the spot or whatever. But
so, do you have a ring? Like, Does it work?
Yeah.
Can I borrow it?
Yeah.
So did you get to keep any props from the set? Like probably the question gets asked like a million times.
Did
or
you ask him
whatever.
that?
No.
Oh my god, I would have.
But yeah, but like this is James and Oliver Phelps. They played the Weasley twins from the Harry Potter movies, so like that they were fun to meet. And actually, when I went to their panel, I actually got to go up on stage and ask them a question. So I just asked them if they could be in any of their type of movies. What kind of movies would they want to do? They kind of gave some generic answer. One of them said they wanted to do a sci-fi movie. One said they love to be in a western. So it's kind of like just some generic answers. But yeah, because like of course, like who wouldn't want to be? Like anyone would want to be. So, but let's see. Oh, so this is the bass player from Neon Tree. So I caught one of their picks they threw out. So like I'll just hold my pick when I got a picture with them. But let's see. I was meeting I'm Eric from Boy Meets World, Will Friedle. So like he was supposed to do a panel at the convention, but I guess he has really bad social anxiety, so he's willing to like take pictures, but for whatever reason, like he doesn't like to speak in front of people, which is funny because like he's the most kind of outgoing goofball, crazy guy from Boy Meets World, but yet like he has this social anxiety that
just go
that you
to
would never
most of
know.
my evidence for my theory. Most of them are quiet and kind of anxious or awkward off screen.
right. So
the way it
yeah,
is.
so like we had a panel scheduled and then he decided to reschedule it, but there's another picture of us posing when I have the hat on this time, so I'll go through. Oh, and actually one of the things I wanted to show. So I have a picture here. So that's my like surf ninja thing. But I have the actual shirt here, so I don't even need to really have the picture up there. But the shirt here from like Johnny's Moto Surf Shop.
Dude, that's cool.
That's signed by Ernie Reyes. Which I should have got it signed by Rob Schneider too, but I just kind of like I don't want to get too many things signed. I'll have the one thing signed. So yeah.
No, officer, we weren't moto surfing. Oh yeah, how do you explain this?
Yeah, right. But also, like while I'm showing that, it's one of the other things. So I had Jason David Frank sign this cool Power Ranger shirt that I got. That, like shows all the different Power Rangers that he's been throughout the year. So Tommy, and then he just signed it at the top there. So I have that. Which I've had all this stuff kind of like in a storage, like I'm kind of packed up in a box. I don't ever wear this stuff because I learned my lesson as a kid. One of my stories is that as a kid, we got to meet Steve Young and Jerry Rice, and because my dad used to work at a ski resort in Utah called Snowbird, and they're having this convention because Steve Young was a Mormon, so like Utah is like the like Mormon place, and so they got him, and then he brought along Jerry Rice, and we got a football sign, but like over time we just played with it, and we didn't really like respect the autograph. We kind of just like we got it dirty, and over time the autograph just rubbed off. We could have had a Steve Young signed football, but it was like coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I had a Gallagher shirt, kind of like Chris. I had a Gallagher shirt that was signed by Gallagher for the longest time, and then like a dumb kid, I wore it all over the place and wore it out.
Yeah. So I had a Gallagher shirt signed by him too, and I think that I wore it way too many times, so it just kind of wore out.
Speaking of
like a dumb kid.
Yeah.
But I did get his DVD set signed by him, and I still have that somewhere. So
that's cool. So you also have a Gallagher experience?
Oh, I've seen him 4 or 5 times in concert, and the biggest I've seen him in a theater, and then I've seen him 3 times at like little clubs. So like at the little clubs, like he'll just hang out in the parking lot afterwards and just chill out.
That's cool.
Yeah, so like probably one of the most valuable pieces of merch that I have. It actually doesn't belong to me; it belongs to my wife. So like since the divorce is happening and all that like she's gonna take it with her. Unfortunately, but she has this football that was actually signed by the entire 1981 49ers team, the year of like a famous catch where Joe Montana threw to Dwight Clark to win, and that got into the Super Bowl. But you can see like Dwight Clark's autograph right there, and then Joe Montana's. Let me see if I can. His is right here. You can kind of see it right.
That's cool.
But like it's signed by the entire team, and when she originally got it, she inherited it from her grandma, and This thing used to be filled with air, but over time all the air leaked out. So you can get it repaired back to like almost original form, but it costs a couple $100 to like do it in like a precise way so it doesn't damage it, you know. So like that's something that she definitely wants to do soon. So sadly that's hers though. I don't get to take that one in the divorce. But speaking of that, she's actually calling me. I'm gonna just like tell her sorry to live on the air that we're filming. So yeah, like she's one of the ones that'll keep calling me. Filming.
Surprised my wife hasn't
right.
called. Of course, she knows we're recording though.
Okay. But anyways, yeah. So like it's like keep it going, just to kind of like plow through all these. So they're just the more fun things. Like a little thing where you can get like a Groot and a Star-Lord picture. So I met Anthony Mackie, but I couldn't find my original the digital copy. So I just have this printout that I took a picture of, but it was pretty cool though. My friend Audie though, like this is like a kind of like a little side story. So like she had this kind of like a second cousin kind of meet up with us, this like girl here, and like she didn't really pay for like any of the like photos that we did. She didn't really have very much money, but like Audie's like, insisted that like she be in all the photos. She's like, well, this is her first time coming to a comic convention. She's just gonna be in with us, and I'm like, well, you're gonna have to split these costs because some of these photos are actually cost quite a bit because we were all splitting them. She's like, well, she doesn't have any money. She's going to be in it no matter what. And like she was rude to us the whole entire time. That just like acted very like super ungrateful. And then like come to find out, like she's been to every single convention ever since and like met like every celebrity. So I kind of like just like this random person's here. I don't know you, stranger danger kind of thing. All right, but yeah, just keep it moving. I said. Oh, that's Nathan Fillion again. Let's see. Let me find the. Oh yeah, this is just a few quick pictures from our little private kind of like session with Jason David Frank. We were asking him questions and stuff. Like I got to ask him like 4 questions while we were there. So, but so this is Felicia Day. So like for people who might not be familiar. She has a web series that's pretty popular called The Guild, where you can watch and like a lot of people from like they're pretty commonly seen at a lot of comic book convention and will appear on it, kind of like Alan Tudyk or like John Barrowman or like let's see, or even Nathan Fillion. He's been on it before, so like just some of those guys kind of thing. So those are all the pictures that would actually fit on the actual StreamYard. I actually have just a couple more on the actual Google thing that I'm going to bring up really quick. Just give me one quick second. I only have a few on there. Let me open up my folder. Okay, so share screen. All right there. Okay, it should be popping up here. But yeah, so like there's a couple more. So we met Sebastian Stan, and like the funny thing about like meeting Sebastian Stan, aka the Winter Soldier, like we so my sister Emily has a massive crush on him. This is like her like main celebrity crush, and so like when I saw him, I was like, man, my sister has a huge crush on you. He's like obsessed, man. She's like, tell her to get over here. He's like, I got a hug waiting for it. And then I like told my sister that, and like at the time she was only like 18, 19 years old. And she's like, oh my gosh, he said that. And she's like freaking out, having like a little fangirl kind of moment over Sebastian Stan. So there's that. Also too, like he was like super like impressed with my Marty McFly costume. He even wanted to like try on the like puffy jacket and the hat and stuff. So I let him. So like that was fun. And then we met Haley Atwell. So Peggy Carter herself. So like that was cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that like basically they had the whole entire cast of of Captain America: The Winter Soldier that we got to meet. So like that was really awesome. That's I did a random picture of Ian Johnson, who was the football star. So like since I'm from Boise, I'm a massive Boise State fan. This is after Boise State won their very first Fiesta Bowl that were like the Cinderella story, and then he had the winning play to win it all, and then afterward he just ran and proposed to his wife right there on the field and stuff. I thought that was like a really amazing moment. So like he's kind of one of my local sports heroes, and also too like he still lives in the Boise area. Like he has a show on like local sports talk radio, and then like would you like see him at like different local events and like little festivals. I've seen him and his wife walking around and stuff, so that's cool. They're just me and Mark like in a jail cell that they had set up there for like one of their like horror like haunted houses that they have. There's another picture similar to Chris's, kind of saying like just posing with Spidey there. And they had a Deadpool there too. So there's with the, so this is actually a really cool picture. Actually met Bill Walton, so like a famous NBA player. We're at like one of the championship games so we were at BYU, and it's one of their like last games where if they won it, they're going to make it into the NCAA tournament. So they and they did end up winning it, so they made it into the tournament. And then afterwards, the Walton was actually there. He was doing commentary for the radio there, so he has like a pretty iconic voice for like that kind of stuff. So like he's pretty nice. Like there's about like 10 or 15 people that and like wanted to get a picture with him. So he was super nice and let us get.
Bill Walton had some wicked mutton chops back in the day. It's kind of what he was.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and like a headband and like some mutton chops back in like the 70s.
I want to find though, like I think that I have it here. One picture that I really wanted to show that I know didn't get shown, but maybe I forgot to upload it. But anyways, well, that's probably enough pictures. But I did meet Sir Patrick Stewart though. He's like one of my like biggest list celebrities.
And you met Stan effing Lee.
Oh yeah, so we met Stan Lee there, but I didn't get a picture with him though, because like at that point I was out of money, so I was just kind of like shoot, like
Did you get his autograph?
No, like I didn't have any money left.
It probably would have cost like $100 to get Stan Lee's autograph at that point.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that would have sold my soul for Stan Lee's autograph.
Yep. Well, if I had the actual picture, because I used to have the picture of with Sir Patrick Stewart actually like framed and like sitting on my computer desk, but like since I moved, I have it packed up though. So but I have met him because like one of the cool things we got to do is like so if one of the Comic Cons that I went to, that they announced that the entire cast of Star Trek Next Generation, but they started announcing them one by one in this big reveal over like several weeks. But they didn't announce Sir Patrick Stewart, so we're like, man, he must be too big of a celebrity guest to be able to get. But they have all the rest of them, so that's pretty cool. And then like literally the night before, they made a huge announcement that they actually got him and that he was going to be there. So that was like one of the first photos that I wanted to get, and probably the most expensive one. Like I think his was like $150 just to get a photo, but I split it with my friend Sam, so we only paid half. We paid $75 each, which is still kind of a lot for just a photo, I feel like, but like still like it was worth it to like meet Sir Patrick Stewart for
absolutely.
For sure. So now like on my bucket list, like I really want to meet Ian McKellen because they're like best friends, and like he's getting pretty old, so like I really want to find a way to meet him. That's like high on my list.
Yeah.
Well, and let me see. I'm really quick. Sorry, the screen just minimized on me. Okay, I'm back. But yeah. So like, I had a couple other things I wanted to talk about. So there's a list of celebrities that I've met before, but like I wasn't able to get a picture with them just because like whatever reason, like when I saw them, I didn't have a camera with me, or I just didn't have enough money to afford it all. So there's a list here of like some from the comic convention that I have met. I just don't have pictures. So there's like Alan Tudyk. They had Manu Bennett there who played like what's the guy that kind of looks like Deadpool, but he's like half and half.
Deathstroke.
Yeah, Deathstroke. So like he played Deathstroke on TV. I met Dick Van Dyke. He was at a convention before. Oh, I met David Prowse, who was in the original Darth Vader suit, but like he didn't want to like really talk about Darth Vader. Like he was kind of like almost like we seemed like one of those old kind of grumpy old men. So like when I went to go and like talk to him, he's like, I've been in some other movies, right? He's like pointing out like he was in like a Clockwork Orange and a bunch of other movies. I'm just like yeah, but you're Darth Vader. Like that's what we really like want to talk to you about that. But that's why we like come to see you. But we don't come to see you for a Clockwork Orange. Sorry, but we don't.
It's like what you said about like Patrick Stewart. Like you don't want to talk about like X-Men or like Star Trek, and it's like, but yeah, bro, that's like what most people know you for. So
yeah,
that's why you're at like a nerdy Comic-Con. Like you're not here at a nerd Comic-Con because of your one-man show of A Christmas Carol. Like you're at your Comic-Con because of Star Trek and X-Men. like David Prowse, you're at this nerd Comic-Con because you were Darth Vader. That's why that's why you're here. Like,
but he was one of the next booths down at the Toy Con in Las Vegas when I met like Ernie Reyes Jr. and Greg Grunberg, and like he was the next booth down. So I went and met him, and also at the same convention. So they had Steve Cardenas from the Power Rangers there with David Yost, so like the Red Ranger and the Blue Ranger, and so I like tried to do one of those things where I took like one of those creepy photos from a distance. I'm like, I don't really have that much money. I gotta watch my money. But I want to be able to remember this. So I'm gonna take this picture from a distance. But then Steve Cardenas saw me do it, so he like runs up to me. He's like, sorry. Like I don't mean to be rude or anything, but you can't really take just like random pictures like that. So I'm gonna have to ask you to delete it. Sorry, but like he's really nice about it. Like he's as nice as you can be for like having to like deal with those situations. But like so like I don't have the picture because I was nice enough to actually delete it. So but yeah, so that was kind of interesting. And then so I met David Hasselhoff before. This is kind of like an interesting story where like me and some friends. So my cabin that my family owns, we have a cabin up in Provo Canyon, which is like kind of like just below Park City, Utah, and there's a ski resort owned by Robert Redford called Sundance. It's kind of like just below like where they hold the Sundance Film Festival, because they do Sundance actually in Park City, but then just below that they have Robert Redford's actual ski resort that he owns. So like I was just walking through with some of my brothers and my cousin, and then like my brother was like, oh my gosh, was that that guy from Baywatch over there? I'm like, Baywatch? He's like, yeah, the guy with the curly hair, like he's really tall. Like I'm like, oh, you mean David Hasselhoff? And he's like, yeah, like that was totally him. And, like he just walked around the corner, and then like some lady, she walked up, she's like, was that him? That actually looked like David Hasselhoff. And then like we just hear this voice like booming from around the corner. He's like, you guys are so obvious. And then he like walks back and like came and like shook all of our hands, and he was super nice, super friendly. And like I actually peed next to him in the bathroom at the urinal, but like without really even thinking about it. But I was like, that's the guy that just walked out of the freaking bathroom. I peed next to David Hasselhoff. That's kind of weird. And so, but I really regret not getting a picture with him, because it was like I was kind of like having kind of like what's the right word? Like not really fanboying, but like kind of one of those things where you're like, hi, Mr. Hasselhoff. Hi.
You were fanboying. That is called fanboying, when you forget how to talk.
Yeah. But I wasn't really saying much. I was just like forgetting how to talk. Yeah. And so like I had a camera in my hand, but I never got a freaking picture. So I always regret not doing that. But then at the same ski resort, I've seen a couple other celebrities over time. So like Robert Redford will actually show up from time to time, and he'll ride up the ski lift with like just like random fans. So like he'll be like, hey, yeah, Mr. Redford needs one more person. Anyone want to ride up the ski lift with them? And so like he came in. I saw him do that, but he just picked like a random person out of the crowd, and so I saw him there, and then I also saw Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston just like walking through the ski resort. This was during the summertime when all this happened. So like every time that I saw these people, it was always summertime, and so. But like Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox looked like they're in a hurry or like trying to get somewhere. So I wanted to go say something, but I was just like I don't want to bother them. But that's literally Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston. That's awesome. So yeah, I didn't take any creepy pictures or anything. I just let them go on their way. But
Friends is overrated.
Yeah, right.
No,
Yeah.
Friends is incredible. Shut your damn mouth. Friends is a solid, amazing show. So
to some people, yeah, but
some of you.
I love Friends,
but
and I know Jordan hates Friends as well. So
yeah,
you
I
guys
hate
are in the
Friends.
same club.
I'm not a big Friends fan.
You guys are like in the anti-Friends club.
I do find Joey funny, but that's about
you
it.
guys can
But,
create a fan club for haters.
Yeah, right. But a couple other ones. So when I was a kid, I used to play for this team called the Junior Jazz. So like we're affiliated with the Utah Jazz, and they and so like we gotta go and do a scrimmage during one of the halftime shows. So like we were like pretty much like halftime like entertainment for one game, and so afterwards we got to meet the whole entire team, and we also got to meet. And they were playing the San Antonio Spurs at the time, back when they had David Robinson. So I met the Admiral and David Robinson. So like that was awesome. And then Utah Jazz, I met them a few different times, like because they used to hold their spring training camp on Boise for whatever reason. They just come up and they'd have games there, and then they'd always sign autographs. So I met like Karl Malone, John Stockton, like Darren Williams, Andre Kirilenko. For like diehard basketball fans, a lot of you might actually know those names. I actually have a little card here, so it's signed by. This is signed by the next best player that ever played on the Utah Jazz after John Stockton and Karl Malone retired. This is AK-47 Andre Kirilenko. So I got it signed by him. He's from Russia, but like he's an amazing player. So like I'm not sure how much like signed basketball cards go for, but I think right now there's like an explosion in the sports card industry, so it's probably worth it. A decent amount, but yeah. So like, just a couple other celebrities that were at some convention. So I met Jeff Goldblum. I got to shake his hand, which is awesome. Oh, and I got to meet Henry Ian Cusack, who played Desmond from Lost. And like one of the funny stories about that, he wasn't even a guest at the comic convention. He just came to the comic convention just with his wife, and he was just walking around the comic convention, just enjoying the convention. And then so I was just walking through, and I was just, wait a minute, that guy looks exactly like Desmond from Lost. I'm like, wait, is that Henry Ian Cusack? So I went up to him. I'm like, Henry Ian Cusack? Like, I didn't really know what to say. I'm like, are you Henry Ian Cusack? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, you one of the guests here? He's like, no, I decided to come here with my wife. We're just kind of hanging out. I'm like, right on, very cool, but I didn't really want to bother him or like draw like attention to him. I think he was like trying to kind of keep inconspicuous, kind of low key thing. So like I didn't really do anything. I just kind of said, very cool, like it's nice to meet you. So I saw him, and I guess just a couple of my favorite panels that I've ever been to. So like there's a comedy group that's kind of considered more like clean style comedy. They're called Studio C. Like I would recommend them to people. They're absolutely hilarious. But they're kind of like a young adult version of Saturday Night Live. And so they had a panel where they performed some unreleased stuff there, and then let's see, just a couple more. Cause I know you got to run soon, Austin. But let's see. Oh, and then the last story that I'm going to share. So one of the Comic Cons I got to meet John Schnepp, and one of the things that like really bums me out. So like John Schnepp, he's like the big King Schweddy from Collider days. So like the picture that I have with him. So like I got pictures with him, and I introduced him to my buddy Mark. We're on this broken hard drive that I'm not able to access here. So like one of these days I want to get it fixed, because I have pictures like doing like the little rock thing because like that's one of his like signature things. He always did that, and then I got a picture with him and his wife Holly Payne, and then I got a signed picture. We'll sign DVD of his movie The Death of Superman Lives. What Happened? He did this like documentary, so I got it signed by him and his wife, and then one other third person, which I'm not sure who the other autograph even is, but like there's a third one on there that I want to try to figure out what that is someday. But like I'll just close it out with a couple kind of like my like memorabilia things that I have kind of sitting here. So like I have this picture here that's signed by the entire Boise State team when they won the first Fiesta Bowl. Everyone except Kellen Moore for some reason. Like Kellen Moore's line was like so packed with like people that, and like I remember for whatever reason I had somewhere that I had to be. I didn't have enough time to sit and like wait 2 hours in a huge line for him. So like everyone but like the star of the whole entire team, their quarterback, but like everyone else was on there. So I got that. When I met Rob Schneider, he was selling these posters here. So I got a poster from their comedy tour signed by David Spade, Adam Sandler, Nick Swartzen, and Rob Schneider. So I got that one there. And then one of my favorite things that I have is so an old friend of mine got me this signed picture of all the cast of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. This is
That's so freaking amazing.
But like freaking everyone. So you have Daniel Radcliffe, you have Rupert Grint, you have Emma Watson, you have Alan Rickman who passed away, which is cool to have his signature. You even have Gary Oldman on there, Jason Isaacs, Helena Bonham Carter. So just literally all the main cast are like freaking on that picture, which is awesome. And then probably one of the last two things. I'll wrap with it. Oh, and also too, I actually found this. So like
last 5 things. We're gonna go
last 8 things.
Hours.
Last 10 things.
last 5 hours of the show.
Well, like pile of stuff, and I keep finding stuff. So like I wasn't able to find my Sir Patrick Stewart.
Let it go.
So there it is. So yeah. Anyways,
okay.
I'll make it quick. But anyways, so like I have a drumstick here. When I went to a Yellow Card concert back when I used to go to the Warped Tour hardcore, and the drummer threw this out into the crowd, and like I fought hard for this. So like literally, like I reached up and I grabbed it, but so did like 4 other people. We all had our hand on it, and so I'm like pulling with like all my strength, every ounce of strength that I possibly have, and everyone's fighting me. So like we like fell under the ground. Remember that I'm like having this like a tug of war with this other guy. I kicked him in the face trying to get this thing. We were like fighting hardcore. And then my brother, he was with him, my brother Aaron, he goes up and he starts tickling people to make them like let go. He's like, Gucci, 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 like you're gonna let go. And so everybody did, and I just took off and I ran out of there because like I didn't want to like deal with a guy just kicked in the face over a drumstick. So so there's that stuff. And then so this is the very last thing. I promise this is the last thing I'm gonna show. But so my uncle David for my birthday got me a signed script from Malcolm in the Middle, which is freaking awesome. So like it's like signed literally like the whole entire cast. You can see like the like script.
Holy shit!
Signed by like Frankie Muniz. It's signed by Bryan Cranston. It's signed by like Jane Kruzemak, or however you say her name.
That's
mom,
so
and then
freaking awesome.
And then like Dewey, Francis, pretty much all of them. And then but the script, if you remember the episode where they all go to the water park and the mom's screaming at them, she's like, "Oh, you Aborigines," and like just like they're like you think that the kids are like the ones trying to terrorize the like mom there, but like low-key, I feel like the mom terrorized her whole entire family on that show. Like she was like a psychopathic like mother on that show. But we have a script signed by, which is like pretty freaking awesome, like an original script from the show. So. But anyways, that'll do it for all my stuff. So like, sorry, like it's kind of a lot, but these are all things that like mean a lot to me. They're like, there's some awesome memories that I have, and I'm glad I was able to like do all that because I'm not really going to as many comic conventions lately because I want to save more more money to travel. I want to be able to like maybe go to some theme parks, go visit some like friends that live farther away, and things like that, some family, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what my money's going towards. But yeah, but yeah, this has been a fun episode though. Like we're just showing off all of our like awesome stuff. Like probably someday I'll get to another comic convention because like Salt Lake Comic Con. I was doing another convention in September where they're literally going to have the like the entire cast of Cobra Kai there, and they're going to have the entire cast of Boy Meets World there, and a bunch of supernatural people too. So that sounds like a pretty awesome show to be at. But
yeah, I might be going to one in another one in Knoxville in October because I haven't been to one in like 2 years because obviously COVID kind of messed everything up. So like there haven't been like a lot of Comic Cons. But the only thing that sticks about it is like they're saying like, oh, you like pictures are just going to be like you just kind of leaning over the table, like like you won't get to be able to get like very clean pictures and stuff, which kind of sucks. Like I don't know.
Photos,
yeah. So I mean, we'll see, but yeah, there's a couple of like people I want to see at that convention. So maybe, like a bunch of Cobra Kai people are going to be there. So like I want to go see that, and like Robert Patrick is going to be there, and
I'd be sick.
Yeah, like Judge Reinhold. I strangely want to meet Judge Reinhold.
Oh, hell yes. I want to meet him too. That would be so cool.
Yeah. Like, because I'm a big, like, Santa Claus fan, so, like, I love Judge Reinhold.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And the movie Switch or whatever, where they switch bodies.
Oh, right.
With Judge Reinhold.
Look at the Santa Claus, they always crash me up, but it's like my weenie whistle, and he blows a little weenie whistle.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's a couple of people, so, like, I'd like to go see that. And go meet some of those guys. But yeah, I mean, like they got a couple of Star Trek people there, but I'm not the biggest original series fan. But it's mostly people from the original series.
Well, maybe they'll make it cheaper for you. I don't know. Like if you can't get like real photos, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like because they still got the photo ops, but like I wonder if it's gonna be weird. Like even those professional photo ops, Jordan, like you were showing, with like the Avengers people and shit. Like I wonder if it's gonna be like one of those weird ones where you're gonna have to stand like a couple feet apart from them. Like
right.
When I take a picture with them, like I want to be like right next to them, like it's just odd. Or like I don't want to take a picture with them with like all of our masks on and stuff. Like I don't want to do that. Like that's just weird. Yeah, like I don't want to do that. So we'll see. Yeah, I got to look in to see what their policies are going to be. But yeah,
I would like to. But just a quick little kind of 20-second story because I mentioned the one about Marina Sirtis is that so like when I went to the Comic-Con. When they had all the cast of Star Trek: Next Generation, they're like overheard her saying like, "Man, with all these effing people here, like all these nerds, we got to stand here and take pictures all day long. I'm not really looking forward to this or something like that." And it's like, dude, why do you even come to this stuff? Like, you know what you're getting yourself into.
You're gonna take pictures and sign autographs. Like that's literally what you're gonna do. Like the whole time. Like if you don't want to do it, then like don't do it. Don't go there and be like miserable when people are excited. People are excited to meet you. Like maybe they've never met you before. And they're like, they like want to get a picture with you or whatever. Like don't ruin their day just because you're not excited to be there. Like if you don't want to do it, just don't do it. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, but like I think that was something she just kind of said like kind of quietly. And, like nobody was supposed to hear it, but I was at like the next table over, so I heard her say it, and I was kind of like, oh, that's a little disappointing to hear, but like, we never know. Maybe she's just having a bad day or something like that. Like you never know. So, but But anyways, though, we'll kind of wrap it up here, though, and we can just kind of just go around the horn. If you have anything you want to promote, anything that you want to talk about, really quick. I mean. You can find all of us on the same channel, So, So, but if you have anything that you want to just mention quickly, we'll start with Austin.
No, not much. I mean, I'm sure Jordan and I are going to try to schedule and do another episode of our Seinfeld show, Hello from Movie Hero, pretty soon. So, because that'll, it's been about a month since our last one, so we're about due for another one to talk about Seinfeld, and I'm sure he'll tell you about the new tournament fights we're doing tonight. I'm sure he'll mention that.
Yeah.
If you're watching this live, but obviously, the one coming up tonight.
Yeah, and then Chris, do you have anything you want to promote?
Nothing really to promote.
You can find us?
Yeah, you can find us. Well, you can find me at cscott1128. Well, no, at writer_84 on Twitter. And we also have our wow. I'm not
It's all
even
good. Wait
like
for it to
knocked
scroll
out
over.
right now.
It's all
No,
good.
I'm not. Instagram cscott1128.
Yeah.
You can email us the questions. Guys, please hit that like button.
And subscribe button. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the subscribe button so you can be notified of everything that we do, because like sometimes we kind of post kind of last minute. I've been trying to be better at trying to at least update you guys as far as tournament fights and tier ranker fights go. So if you go over to the Schwinn Friends and Family, you can see a little 3-week out schedule of some things we have coming up. So that's over there. And then so tonight we're at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We got another episode coming at you. That's going to be the premiere of our new spinoff series called Tournament Fights Battles, which is essentially the same tournament fights you know and love, but with a little bit of a twist to it that we took 4 of us, so it's going to be me, Chris, and Austin, and then Malcolm Lay. This time we each took 16 of our most overrated movies. They're just movies we can't stand, but for whatever reason other people like them, and we don't really get it. So it's kind of like I don't get it is like the unofficial title of it. The I don't get it episode. And so yeah, we're gonna have some movies maybe you might love, but we just don't, or maybe you'll be on the same page with us. You have to tune in to find out what those are. They're going to be a surprise on the episode. We'll be doing the tournament of 64 for that. And then next week we got a couple shows coming up. We got Tuesday. We're going to be doing best 90s horror movies. And we have a stat cast for that. We're going to have William the Beast Bibiani. We're going to have Ethan Irwin. We're going to have Adam Collins. And then we're going to have
Mark Edward Hoyk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mark Edward Hoyk, and then Anthony Tisdall too. So it'll be a pretty stacked cast for that one. Yeah, and so that'll be for me like an all-time cast, because like all those guys are like freaking experts when it comes to horror movies. So really respect a lot of their opinions. So I'll feel like the one who really hasn't seen the most, because honestly, I'm still playing catch up with a lot of my '90s horror movies. I just watched the Candyman for the first time last night, so that was a fun watch. And then earlier, I watched Silence of the Lambs for the first time. 2 big '90s horror movies I've never seen until this week.
I rewatched Candyman last night as well, but I hadn't seen it in like probably 20 years, so it was almost like watching it for the first time. So yeah.
And Candyman has an awesome score too. That I was really digging.
That score, I was just gonna say before we went live, I was just like listening to the YouTube, like some piano covers and stuff. Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh, nice.
The score's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Candyman's amazing, and I remember it scaring the hell out of me when I was
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like I definitely want to.
Voice is freaking amazing.
Yeah, and I definitely want to watch it because they got the remake coming out soon. So like hopefully.
Yeah, no, I wanted to refresh myself too.
I really hate his horror though, so I hope he doesn't do what he's done with his last piece of shit movies.
Who?
I'm not a Jordan Peele fan, huh?
Yeah, but he's only a producer on it. He's not directing it. He's not directing it.
Okay, well, good.
It's directed by Nia.
I really like
something,
Get Out.
A lady. He just helped get the funding for it. Really, he doesn't have much involvement in it. And it's basically a sequel to the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I am excited to see that. I do like the fact that we do have him back.
Sequel, not a remake. Yeah.
The voice Todd or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's going to be in it. He's in it. He's playing Candyman. They just haven't really shown him in the trailers, which I'm glad, because that'll be cool.
Yeah, and I really like Get Out. I'm just not a huge Us fan.
And the poster is simple and amazing for the new one.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, and the trailers too. They got some like trailers that like just kind of really tease you really well without really giving too much away.
Right. I like that it doesn't feel like you've given the whole movie.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna have best '90s on Tuesday, and then on Friday we're gonna be doing best reoccurring Saturday Night Live characters. So and actually, well, no, we actually have that panel all filled up. I was gonna say we're looking for one more person, but actually
no, I think we filled up for that one.
Yeah, my buddy Mark's gonna be join us. We grew up watching Saturday Night Live together, so that should be a fun time. So yeah, this has been a fun time. And if you've ever been to any comic conventions, and if you've ever met any big name celebrities, just sound off in the comments section. Like I always read all the comments, so I'll definitely try and respond to you because I'm.
So my buddy
I'm
Mike
with you guys,
Schaefer
so.
has been watching the whole time.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. So yeah, so we'll be coming at you at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time for tournament fights. Battles Our Most Overrated Movies. So we'll probably see you at that point in time. And so for Austin, for Chris, I've been Jordan Movie Hero Anderson, and we will see you next time.